Letterbox, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the LaserDisc Wolfpack THX podcast. Its continuing mission to explore old media, to seek out chapters and new digital audio formats, to boldly go where no hoarder has gone before. Hello, folks. I'm Chris. Mom, it's not a phase. Laserdisc is a lifestyle. Haller. And if I was a captain of a starship, I'd want it to be called, I had this written down, but I blew it. We'll go with the USS Maverick.
Is that like a Top Gun reference?
Indeed, because I got Top Gun Maverick right here. I'm going to throw it over to my good friend Sam.
Hey, I'm Sam. I'm just kicking back and enjoying life and I'm working in the engineering room, kind of hanging out with LaForge and crew and, seeing what's going on. Getting a different view of the ship this week. And I'm going to pass it over to Ryan.
I am Ryan. I am captain of the USS Broterian. And tonight's podcast is brought to you by Hollywood Nights Alt Brew, only brewed on the USS Broterian. And with that, I'll pass it on to Seth.
Hi, I am the a foreign exchange captain from, but now it's United Federation of Planets from the USS Stockholm. We're a peaceful ship so far until we join the Federation, which is on the fence right now.
Too spicy. Current events.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, now we're dating this. Okay, so over to Marcus.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Marcus Cook. I am captain of, we'll just go with captain of West Coast Laserdisc. I hold it down on the West Coast. Excited for another episode. This is a fun one for me, given it's my first foray into anything Star Trek. So this should be good.
What an introduction this is going to be. So, as far as you can all tell, we are all here to discuss a very special movie to, I think, some of us more than others. We are here to discuss the 1996 classic science fiction franchise film, Star Trek First Contact, which is blending into my Zoom background.
Oh, yeah, look at that. It's in space. What's that, Ryan?
It's not just in space, it is space.
Seth's got a sticker on his. I don't.
Double hype sticker, THX hype sticker.
Nice.
And the poster sticker, and the poster is with it. So it's complete.
Yeah, who's got the poster? Mine. I feel gypped. I did not get.
I got no poster.
Mine.
Listen, where we're going, we won't need posters.
Wow, I've had so many of these, and they never have a poster.
Just to give us a little context, this is a 1996 Star Trek motion picture. It is the second movie starring the 1990 or 1987 Next Generation cast. Their first solo movie, and it deals with a little bit of time travel, a little bit of Borg nonsense, and a little bit of lighthearted universe-ending comedy. Of course, it stars our classic cast of Patrick Stewart, Marina Sirtis. God, now I'm blanking. See, I should have written this stuff down.
Brent Spiner, Jonathan Frakes.
Jonathan Frakes.
LeVar Burton.
Yep.
Yeah,
Michael Bourne.
Yep.
Yeah, the full Next Generation cast minus Guinan makes their return after Generations in '94, and we're very lucky to have a few people on the panel tonight. One is phoning in via a document I have over here. But Marcus, this was your first exposure to Star Trek. And at this point, there'd been Star Trek on the planet Earth in 1996 for at least 30 years. So I'm really interested to hear what you have to say about this movie as our opener.
Sure. So like you said, I've never seen anything Star Trek other than maybe some clips of some of the TV shows. I know Beam Me Up, Scotty. But that's literally the extent of what I knew going into this film. I purposely did not read anything about the movie just so I could, see it cold. And so some of my impressions I wrote down. And so I should preface this by saying The reason why I haven't watched anything Star Trek is because I'm so ingrained into Star Wars. It's like there's only so much room, right? So I'm into everything Star Wars. I'm all in on Star Wars. I really never had a reason to pick up Star Trek. Like I wouldn't go and see it in the theater. Never had the reason to buy the movies on home video. It was just never introduced to me. Being a huge Star Wars fan, and I will tell you that my view of space in general, these types of movies, is heavily influenced, and I see it through the lens of Star Wars. So there were a few things that surprised me about the film. Okay, first of all, I had no idea that time travel was even a thing in Star Trek, and so some of the stuff I'm going to say is going to sound probably really dumb.
It is very casual in this film. It is the most casual time travel ever.
But the fact that time travel even existed, I was like, wow, that was I felt like a big deal to me. I was like, that adds a whole nother element and could potentially add a whole lot of layers to these films that I didn't even know existed. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, someone's going to comment on that.
So I will say the time travel in this movie is quite unexpected. So I think you're getting the genuine reaction. Though Star Trek does use time travel quite frequently, but in this movie it's very bombastic, it's very big, it's very dramatic. Yeah, so I think you're getting its intended impact.
Okay. Another thing that I was not expecting, and I don't know why, but I was not really expecting them to interact with anyone on planet Earth. So the fact that Earth even existed in the Star Trek realm, and I don't know if this is normal, like over the course of however many years it's been around, 50 years or plus, if they interact with Earthlings, like I didn't know that would even be a thing. So it added an element of connectedness to our world that I was not really expecting. I was just expecting this whole new framework and world built out in space with no interaction with any human beings or anything that would resemble human beings. So that was different. Wasn't expecting that. And so little things like, and this again coming from Star Wars, like there's guns with bullets. I was like, well, I'm used to like, blasters and lasers and that kind of thing. So the fact that there were like real guns was just again kind of odd for a space movie. Their technology in this film was pretty advanced, and it was interesting to hear the characters talk about how primitive Earthlings were. It was, the whole, we'll get to this, but the whole kind of part of the climax of the movie with the guy who built the spaceship, and he was he figured out how to go really fast and warp speed. The development of that technology as an aerospace geek, that was kind of cool to see that. That was fun. What else? I think this movie had a lot to say about humanity that I loved. Oh my gosh. What it said about the economy in the future. I think it was one question about like how much did the ship cost was one of the lines, and then he went into a lot. He went to describe how we don't look at money in the same way. We think about taking care of each other and all that kind of thing. I thought that was a really cool point that he made. And yeah, so overall, I think I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was great. I would definitely sit down and watch other Star Trek movies. I'd be curious to hear your takes in context of how much of the movie did I miss because I didn't know anything about Star Trek. Like I felt like I didn't know what the references were on screen that I should know. Sometimes things would happen. I said, you know what? I bet.
Yeah, lots of fan
backstory.
service.
Yeah, I bet there's a huge backstory to this. People probably cheering, when certain things came on screen that I had no idea. So I felt a little ignorant there, but I think that you could pick this movie up, watch it without having any Star Trek background, and it's still very, very enjoyable. And I don't think you're missing out, or there's like huge gaps that you could drive a truck through associated with that.
Is there anything specific you want to dish on?
Let's see. So one thing something specific. So at the very end, when first contact is made and the aliens show up. This is going to sound weird, but when he took his hood off and you could see his ears, the ears brought me back to just in passing seeing someone else, other Star Trek characters with those ears, and I'm like, you know what? I bet that means something. Like, I bet we know about this race of people. I don't know anything about them, but I bet Star Trek fans do, and it was probably a big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you'd be 150% correct about that.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Mr. Spock?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the same race as his. So they made first contact with us.
All right. That makes sense. That makes sense. And then something else I'll add. Favorite character in this? Well, there's a couple. Data is awesome. Oh my gosh. He so many layers to Data. But he's just generally a really cool character. And his again, we talk about humanity. His sense of wanting to grasp onto some humanity, and in some ways, I'll say dumb himself down or set aside some of his capabilities to be more human. I thought that was a neat kind of character development in the film.
So the whole emotion thing and the feelings, that is new as of what, the previous movie?
Yes, that gets introduced in Generations.
So before that, he didn't have that capability. So him going through it in that movie was like an add-on of something recent.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I there's that classic moment where he says, "Switch your emotions chip off," which is a classic Star Trek bit where you can just turn things off like that.
Yeah, and then my other favorite character was, and I don't remember her name in the film, the black woman from Earth.
Oh, Lily, right?
Who went up into space. Yeah, her. She was awesome. I mean, she exhibited some incredibly strong leadership skills, and she was very passionate about what she believed, and was able to convince others of those beliefs in time of critical battles and that sort of thing. I thought her character was really powerful as well. Good. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Again, I felt I missed out on some of the kind of fanfare call outs just because I don't know Star Trek, but the movie was good. From the technical aspects, of the LaserDisc, I thought the picture quality was awesome. Really nice. And then the sound with all the ships, kind of taking off and that sort of thing, the rumble, my subwoofers were going pretty strong with the AC3 track. So it was nice.
Good. I think you got a real nice, genuine experience here. So next time I see someone saying they want to sell all 176 episodes of TNG and individually wrapped things, I'm just gonna tag you like 7 times.
Just tag me, and I'll raise my hand. It's all me.
I fully recommend chasing them individually, or at least in chunks.
Yeah, buy them at $5 a pop.
You got the space for them. Why not?
No, you usually only need to do that with season 7 or 9. Is it 7? 9, 7.
It's a 7-season program that feels like 9 sometimes.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about this, but I know for a fact that there's some really late releases in Japan, like 2001, right?
I've got those back here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so our traditional panel member Hayden cannot be here tonight because I guess his friends came into town.
Friends.
Who needs them?
Yeah.
He sent me a document. He also was coming in from Marcus's perspective where he had never seen a Star Trek movie before. So he basically said that he really enjoyed it. He'd seen a few episodes of TNG and had been kind of we're getting I figured we would do that after we talked about the movie.
That's okay. Everybody knows it now, so it went out live.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oops.
Ryan chatting to the world.
Yeah, but I didn't say what it was.
Oh yeah, good point.
So Hayden says that he thinks that anyone
now I have to hold on. I have to shut this down now. Should I get rid of that? Hold on.
I just broke everything.
Yeah, Now,
That's why I'm here.
Okay.
Hold on.
Let's fix this.
I have to
Technical
go
difficulties.
I have to exit full screen. Now I got to go full screen again. All right. I think, yes, we're back. Yeah.
Okay. So Hayden basically says, he thought that even someone without any prior knowledge could pick up on who the characters were. I think Marcus kind of echoed that sentiment. And he said the movie does a lot to tell you what Picard has been through before the movie and his relationship to the Borg. And he didn't feel like we were being hit over the head with exposition dumps. And he really liked the opening shot of Picard waking up after having a nightmare about his Borg assimilation. He had no reference for what a Star Trek film was going to look like, but he really enjoyed the merge of practical and CGI special effects. And, he thinks it looks pretty good. He's worried that it would look worse if you watched it in a more HD modern format. But he thinks it's a great looking sci-fi flick. And so I sold him a copy of the movie on bilingual Japanese. So it's got a Dolby surround track. It doesn't have a 5.1. And he said it fucking rocked. The dialogue was clear. The sound effects were impactful. And the Jerry Goldsmith score was a highlight.
Oh, yeah.
He says there really isn't a dull moment in the movie. Things are always moving. He actually enjoyed it so much that he watched it twice.
Wow.
And both times he found himself very engaged. And he felt the movie didn't really wink at the audience too often. And, he kept expecting the characters to give a cheesy monologue about how important they are to this planet's history. And he really felt that the script really trusted the audience to understand the importance of it. He enjoyed the way that Data nearly creamed himself when the Borg Queen blew on his wrist.
It was pretty sexy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steamy.
There's that whole 0.68 seconds in which he considers joining the collective, only to decide against it after getting laid. He really likes the way that Picard stands at the beginning of the movie listening to classical music. And apparently that's how he stands and listens to prog music.
Nice.
He's a big fan of the EMH program, the medical hologram that shows up as the ship's doctor is piecing the fuck out. He also mentioned the machine gun that you mentioned, Marcus.
Nice.
And he loved the way Picard shouted. And he really wanted to give a shout out to the fact that Cochrane has a physical copy of Magic Carpet Ride on hand for his rocket launch.
That was, the physical media love was great.
Oh, yeah. And he thinks that Riker should feel ashamed for asking him to turn it down.
Nice.
He really enjoyed that I sold him a bilingual copy, and it was vastly superior to most of the experiences he's got watching subtitled discs, and that he really, really likes the artwork on the bilingual Japanese, which unfortunately you can't see in my... I'm going to turn that off.
It's turned off.
No more space for you.
I'm going to turn off so you can actually see. So this is the cover that he's referring to.
Oh, yeah.
Your traditional First Contact disc has Picard and the other characters, the faces.
Yep.
It's your traditional faces poster, whereas this is very much just the Enterprise warp speeding away.
That's buried
from
on the back on the US.
Whereas really, the Enterprise should always be front and center on any disc you have a Star Trek release for. And overall, he said he'd give this movie 7.5 pairs of Data's creamed pants. And he says he'll see us next time.
All right.
So, now that we've gotten Hayden's lovely thoughts out of the way, I'm going to open it up. Sam, you rewatched this movie. You're very familiar with this movie. How did you feel coming out of the time?
Oh, somebody ate their microphone for a second there. Anyways, yeah, I saw this a couple times in the theater when it came out originally, and I revisited it when I got it in a lot, probably 2015 or something, and then again last night, put it up on the big screen, and yeah, looks pretty tasty, even blowing up. There's a little bit of noise and things like that. Audio was great. I listened to it in AC3, of course. And, as a Star Trek head, I mean, my dad was into Trek, so I grew up watching the shows. So by the time this came out, we're bitchy Trekkers. Yeah, we just like to nitpick things. So we nitpicked a lot of like small details that don't really kind of matter in the long scheme of things, especially in terms of like the film's entertainment. I think people were waiting for the next gen cast to drop their Wrath of Khan. And then so when this came out, we're like, all right, they're never really going to drop their Wrath of Khan because this is like maybe a part Wrath of Khan, a lot of Trek 4 with time travel and the fun comedy shenanigans going on in the past. So yeah, it is what it is. I guess they found their own feel and their own kind of aesthetic in terms of that cast. And there's a lot of silly kind of fun moments, especially down on Earth. Maybe that didn't feel as intense as it should have, considering the fate of humanity and all that stuff was on the line. But yeah, there's an undeniable enjoyment to be had from seeing the cast, getting drunk and listening to classic tunes and hanging out with the evil cop from LA Confidential or the farmer from Babe. And Alfred Woodard was great in it. As Marcus said, that the one bit with her and Picard kind of steering him correctly was like one of the best parts of the film. The stuff on the ship, like always, was a little bit more of the meat for myself. But again, my take back in the day was always no Trek Next Gen movie could top the best of the TV show episodes. So like Best of Both Worlds 1 and 2 and Yesterday's Enterprise were probably like my favorite entities of all time for that whole run of film and television. But yeah, not a big, I guess the other complaint we used to have back in the day was that the Borg were like a genuinely interesting collective, but because they're so inhuman, that does kind of take away from some potential dramatic dynamics, especially because they ignore you until you're actually a threat to them. So it was like, all right, well, we have this race that is just inhuman and they have no personality and, they're just a collective. And they're like, all right, well, yeah, well, now they have a cool, seductive queen that's like got personality for days. And I'm like, all right, cool, I guess. Yeah. But that said, Alice Krieg is great. I like her in pretty much everything she's in. And her, dynamic with Data is fantastic. So yeah, that's fine. And then I guess the other thing I remember was we had a lot of, we were burnt out on the Enterprise blowing up. The Enterprise blew up all the time. So there's the whole bit where there's this threat on the ship and they're talking about blowing out the ship. And just as a fan, you're like, not again. How many times are you going to blow up the Death Star? I mean, the Enterprise. Yeah.
Well, so Marcus, you don't know this, but they blew up the TV Enterprise from the Next Generation show in the previous movie. And I think they blew up, two different Enterprises in the the original series movies? Like,
well, doesn't he off the cuff kind of say, well, we could just build another one, or I'm sure they'll build another one?
Yeah, there's like whatever.
I think that's what he said. Yeah.
So it kind of undercut the drama for me as a fan a little bit because there's that tension where Picard's like, you know what? Let's make a stand and kill everybody. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with that. What else are they going to do? Blow up the Enterprise again? I'm with him. So you're supposed to be on Alfred Woodard's side when she's trying to like talk some sense into him, which is great. But like as a fan, I'm like, I don't know. I kind of hope he just stays and fight. But they find a good way to work around it because he does still stay and fight and saves everything. There's a great Moby Dick kind of thematic element that's an overtone of the film. So they find a way for him to actually look out for his crew. But it gets tense with him and Worf there for a little bit there too. That was pretty fun. But yeah, no, it definitely stands up over time. It's obviously, as we said before, the best next gen theatrical film. And there's a lot of fun to be had. A lot of fanboy moments. And again, I just like the whole kind of the fact that they were nerding out over Zefram Cochrane. And I'm a big Rush fan, so I was getting a lot of Neil Peart vibes because he dressed like Neil Peart did in the 2000s. And Neil Peart, the drummer for Rush, is notoriously, or was, rest in peace, was notoriously uncomfortable with any kind of hero worship or any praise or anything like that. So here's this guy just hanging out, drinking, listening to tunes, and everybody is telling him how much of a savior he is and how smart he is and how he pretty much sets the course of all humanity's future. And he is just not into it. And I love Lieutenant Barclay, who is, a kind of fan favorite for the show, even shows up, and LeVar Burton's Geordie LaForge tells him, like, oh, dude, man, you're coming out too strong. And then he goes on and tells him about the statue that's built in the future and everything. Yes, it's so much fun.
It was like right there where you're standing.
Yeah, and you're holding your hand out.
I went to Zephram Cochran High School, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love that he just runs and drinks in the woods for a bit because he just can't handle it.
And even Riker's like, you told him about the statue?
Yeah, like, dude, right?
So Ryan, I know you also have a familiarity with this movie, dating back to its release. How'd you feel rewatching it on? Did you watch the Blu-ray?
I watched the Blu-ray because I can't
I'm
get
so
the
sorry.
LaserDisc.
I'm so sorry.
I have a LaserDisc. I just, it's behind a lot of things, and I've had some other things going on that are far bigger than 12-inch discs. So, yeah, it's I really enjoyed it. I hadn't seen it since the theaters. So, as a kid, even as a teenager, I would go with my dad and the rest of my family. He'd drag us all because he was a big Star Trek fan and watched Next Generation and then, Deep Space Nine and Voyager. And so, like, I would go to all these movies, and seeing it again, I was like, yep, I remember why I like this one so much. It just, it leaned into what you enjoyed, and it wasn't too over the top or campy or anything, other than the time travel was a little just kind of off the cuff.
Yeah.
And then they just, went back. But
I love when they're just like, oh, all of Earth is turned into Borgs now. Okay, whatever. Just keep going. Time travel. Boom.
Yeah. And I was like, how did they hide themselves? And they're like, oh, the moon. And I'm like, all right, at least they did like mention how they, weren't picked up on sensors. But that entire time where they're like, he shoots the like weapons at the ship.
I love that.
I'm like, the Vulcans didn't pick up weapons at all. Like,
I love how Riker's like, oh, they're just giving us a send off.
Yeah.
They're shooting at him.
So
good.
But they have no idea what's going on. It's a great scene.
Yeah, they're just having a blast riding in this rocket.
Yeah, and like the firing, like it's just gonna hit, and it keeps going, and you're like, how far off was this ship? Like, because that's like the longest like disruptor blasts I've ever seen in Star Trek. It's always like fire, you see it, and it explodes. Not like, all right, let's watch it, let's get some dialogue, let's watch it. Like, yeah. So, but it was truly enjoyable, and it's nice to see LaForge being able to see with like cybernetic eyes instead of the visor. Like,
that was cool. Yeah.
You've hit 90s technology. I mean, 90s Star Trek technology. So that was cool as well. And that's another thing that like doesn't happen right away in the universe, that like you just see this movie like, oh, he's got cool eyes. It's like, yeah, well, he didn't.
Yeah, he had an air filter on his face for many seasons of the show.
Yeah, and I don't even know, was it color, or was it kind of like some kind of like
it's like a yellow. He could see the EM spectrum band.
Yeah. Right, yeah. So seeing it this time, it's like, oh yeah, this is way cooler and way more advanced, because it's like they can solve anything, but apparently not blindness. Like,
hey man.
But no, it was truly enjoyable, and I liked the music. Like,
yeah, some callbacks too. Some old themes showed up, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that first contact theme that opens up the movie is truly one of Goldsmith's best.
Yep.
Oh my god.
You have a nice Neelix cameo, not as Neelix.
Yeah, fake Neelix. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcus, who do you think Neelix is?
Which one was Neelix?
Neelix wasn't in this movie.
Oh.
Yeah, just the actor who played him in another show appears in the film in a cameo in the holodeck scene. So.
Oh.
Well, he plays Nicky the Nose or whatever? I don't know.
Oh, Nicky. No, he's the guy. He's just kind of hanging out. Nicky the Nose was I forgot the name of the actor who played Nicky the Nose. Damn it.
It's okay. We'll get back to it.
He shows that he like greets Picard like immediately when they come through the doors.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
He's the guy in the club.
Yep.
Yeah. So Seth, you're also a semi-big Trek guy.
Yeah.
You've got the original poster that came with this particular.
Yes, I do. Let's bring it out.
Nicky the Nose was Bob from that 70s show.
That's an obscure
Yeah.
actor if I've ever heard it.
So when I took it out, I hadn't taken it out for. I was like, oh,
There you go.
it's something for the Vegas experience. But it turns out there's a poster. It's on the other side that we have the cool thing.
That poster does not
was-
come up very often. I feel like I don't remember seeing that on any of the theatricals that I've come across in my travels.
No, I don't.
Yeah, it must have been a
this is the first
custom.
time- Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was at perfect time and age. Started showing the original series on a cable channel here in Sweden, the number 5 channel. I watched that, and then they started doing a TNG. So I was like super into TNG when the first TNG movie hit VHS. And then I watched that a bunch of times. And then we hadn't had any Star Trek films released in theaters since the first one in Sweden.
Oh, wow.
So there was that big gap. And then they released First Contact. I think there was like 2 cities. And where I live closer to Copenhagen, so I took the bridge. Well, no, the bridge was built back then. Could be I took a ferry, then a train, whatever. But I saw it in the theaters, and so it was amazing. Some of the things you brought up, some of the hokiness is there. There's also a thing like Michael Dorn, who plays Worf. His character was moved to Deep Space Nine. So because there's a battle, his ship from the Deep Space Nine series sort of joins them, and that they shoehorn it in. Yeah, it's a little ship, and there's a joke about the USS Defiant being a small ship.
Yeah.
And he says like, "Today is a good day to die," which is like a classic Trek. And I think when his ship enters, they play the classic Klingon theme from the first movie, which also is a Goldsmith composition. But yeah, seeing it in the theater and having people cheer, and Copenhagen is the capital of Denmark, so it was like people dressing up. And then for the next film that came out after this one, it was shown in my local hometown. This was the return of Star Trek, and I remember watching our equivalent to Siskel and Ebert or whatever, like film critics just discussing this, and there was like one way, well, there's lots of million fans of Star Trek. Well, yeah, there's a lot of million flies that like to eat cow dung.
Wow. Brutal.
Their take.
Jesus Christ.
Harsh.
I know Insurrection's not a very good movie.
He said that about
First Contact? Wow.
Oh
yeah. And then the other guy was like positive about it. He was like, well, it's a film, you can enjoy it even if you're not into this, but at the very end there's going to be a scene that's going to give Star Trek fans shivers, which is the removal of the hood thing when you see the pointy ears, which Marcus had seen with another Star Trek.
I love that Zephram Cochrane had a hard time making the "Live Long and Prosper" hand gesture as well. So, because that's
maybe those hand muscles atrophied after the Third World War took it out of him.
Right.
But that's his first time seeing it or trying to do it.
True. Yeah.
You remember the first time you did it, like as a kid or whatever.
Yeah,
you're like, in a second. Oh yeah.
Can't do it.
I don't remember the first time I tried doing this, so it's been so long.
No, it's
the thing with Zephram Cochrane being a legend and a myth, and like I'm not that, and the sort of are they? I haven't watched it. This was the last minute I joined, but are they let down by him not being as the myth in the film?
That's the weird thing. They aren't really like they're just zazz the whole time.
Yeah, they're so friendly and so like humans are the fucking best that like it just doesn't even faze them.
Yeah. I like between this and 1996's Independence Day, all the fate of humanity rests on the shoulders of drunken pilots.
All of the fate of humanity also rests on the shoulder of Brent Spiner.
Yes.
Good point. Brent Spiner and drunken pilots is all we need.
The 90s realized the truth that you need a strange, quirky, middle-aged man to solve most of the problems with aliens.
Yes.
But yes, I think First Contact, as far as Star Trek movies go, is both hyper-specific and incredibly accessible. I mean, it's if you strip away any of the fancy terms, it's a straightforward zombie movie of sorts.
There are some horror elements.
Characters. Yeah, there's like some. It's light.
Yeah,
but you could go deeper. But you know, there's some great moments. I think my favorite shot in the movie is like the first one, where you see the Enterprise E. Marcus, did you feel any type of way when that starship entered the screen for the first time, and you kind of heard that theme I feel like a Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean the entrance is key, right? Because every Star Wars film, there's a big ship that enters into the screen. So yes, I definitely resonated well with that. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's like the big statement of this movie is that TNG is fucking here, and they're here to stay. They get a brand new ship for the movie. It kind of sets the tone that we're gonna do things lighter and faster and sleeker. You know, you guys all saw it when it was new.
Yep.
Was there any pushback that you guys can remember on like all of the kind of actiony nature of the movie, the sleekness of it, the Enterprise E's wider, almost sexier frame versus the fatter, pudgier D?
I don't remember too many people complaining about the ship construction.
I think since it got blown up, you know, we're like, it's got to be different. It's got to look better. You know? So
yeah, most of the complaints were like small nitpicky things, like I mentioned before, like, you know, the essence of the Borg and, you know, things like that. But for the most part, yeah, that didn't really bother. And the fact that it wasn't balls to the wall Wrath of Khan, everybody was like, "Come on, man, yeah, more action." Yeah, they wanted that opening scene with the Borg battle to go on for like, yeah, because I mean they blow up the ship pretty quick, and you're like, "Oh, that de-escalated," and then like I guess the threat's over, but there's there's still a threat. Shout out to the sound mix in the engineering room when they're kind of going, when it's like, almost like a slasher film kind of thing. There's, you know, guys creeping around the construction or through the vents and everything like that. And the sound mix was like great. Like you can hear like one of the women, like from like the right speaker, like kind of, it sounded distant. Like someone was in my room with me. It was really cool. So.
See, when the last time I listened to the AC3 track in First Contact, I actually thought it was a little weak.
It is quieter than the I had on the PCM when I started, and that was blazing.
Yeah, I'm before this I'd listened to Insurrection in PCM, and that just like, you know, you're the Maxell guy sitting in the chair just getting absolutely plastered with sound, and then you switch over to the Dolby Digital. I mean, I even felt this way about the Blu-ray. I mean, Ryan, did you watch it in surround sound on Blu-ray?
No, I just watched it in stereo because I was working.
Okay. Yeah, I remember we watched it with these big fancy Canadian like design speakers at my parents' house, and even then I thought it was maybe not so impressive. But it sounds like I'm clearly listening to it with the wrong settings.
Yeah, I'm usually more blown away by weird kind of spatial dynamics, like things like that, than all the sturm
pure
and drag
dynamics
and the explosions. I mean, I love some bass and everything too, for sure. But yeah, when it's something small like that, like, you know, the voice of someone coming from a different space and it sounds like hyper realistic, that stuff, yeah, I get all hyped up about it. But
all right, does anybody have any final thoughts on Star Trek First Contact?
I had a question.
Okay,
I'm curious from y'all who are more familiar with Star Trek. Is this more of a standalone film, or does this connect at all to any of the other films
that
all come before it or after?
All of the Star Trek films are pretty standalone,
yep.
Especially the Next Generation movies. But this movie has ties to like
the show,
maybe a half dozen episodes or so from the Next Generation.
Okay.
If I had to, if you really want to give yourself a real nice connection to this movie, check out The Best of Both Worlds, Part 1 and 2,
which are on LaserDisc for you, Marcus.
They're also on Paramount Plus if you don't feel like committing yet. Not all of us can have the 14 boxes of Star Trek behind us to serve our needs.
Yeah, shout out to that Picard flashback to his time with the Borg. That was like total fire in the sky, like alien abduction nightmare stuff with the needle coming at the eye and everything.
Oh my god,
super creepy.
Again, if they wanted to, they could have really pushed the body horror of the Borg with the big
David Cronenberg's First Contact. Yeah.
Well, what is it? Fucking David Cronenberg. I think it's
too.
David Cronenberg who shows up in Star Trek Discovery.
Yes,
because he lives in Toronto.
He is.
So he's a reoccurring character from season 3 and onwards, which is ridiculous.
Oh, Seth's got something.
I think Marcus would love the intro for the Star Trek, the prequel series, the first one. What was it called?
Discovery.
Discovery.
Oh, Enterprise.
Enterprise. Yeah, I would love that intro
I think we want Marcus to enjoy Star Trek.
Yeah, but just watch that intro. That intro has like a lot of cool, starting with what Wright brothers and moving up, and then you see ships and stuff.
It is a good
That's true.
primer
I think, yeah, because of the aerospace.
Yeah. Because of that, yeah.
So I mean, the first season of Star Trek Enterprise is a lot of, we have to deal with this military red tape, and we really want to get our ship out there. So, Marcus, you might actually enjoy that vibe. You may see some of yourself in it.
It might resonate well with me, what I deal with on a daily basis.
So,
hey, one thing I forgot to mention, one of the moments that I kind of laughed out loud was when the ship either got took some fire or it slowed down really fast, and everyone in the ship, like in sync, they like leaned forward and like braced themselves. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Like I could tell that they had like practiced that together. It was just really funny. I don't know if that's something that always happens in the show as the ship flies around, but that kind of synchronized jarring was.
Oh, we forgot to give some love to
hokey a bit.
The crew members, Neil McDonough, who like later on blew up to big stuff like Minority Report and everything like that, is in there, and homeboy from Step Brothers is in there too.
Adam Scott?
Wes Bentley?
Scott, yep.
Oh, Adam Scott. Yeah.
Oh, Wes Bentley? Yeah. Adam Scott from Parks and Rec shows up as the only speaking officer of the Defiant.
That's right.
At the beginning of the movie. And what I enjoyed about that is he got asked about that in an interview, and he was like, yeah, it was extras work, basically. I didn't give a shit about Star Trek.
Oh. But he's in there.
Regarding Marcus's question, is films that are connected. There's, I would say, 2, 3, and 4 are sort of like a loose trilogy. Recently, I was at my mom's house. She's got this fancy OLED TV. I wanted to try it, and like, what better to try it with something with stars in it, like black and bright stars. So I forced my wife to watch Star Trek 2. The Wrath of Khan, and she was like, "Oh, this is old and hokey," and all of a sudden she was really into it. And then there's like a creepy sort of body horror thing with a little bug, and she was like, scared. And then a couple of days later, now she wants to watch 3, and then we're gonna watch 4 at a later time. We don't have that much time to watch movies together, but she got really into it.
Wow.
For what it is, she said. But when we watched it, she got really into it. And I would say that I've done this before. Like, if you want to introduce someone to the original series, 2, 3, and 4 is a great film series too. So to introduce the first one for what it is, I like it. But it could put people off. So
the first one, it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
For those who really like it, it is the definitive Star Trek experience. And for those who want something a little less philosophical in nature, 2 is where you put him in the gunner seat.
There's always that weird dynamic of the like Star Trek is this ideal that is not always dramatic. So they have this prime directive where you don't get involved, and people in different timelines or people that aren't as advanced as humans, and they break it a lot because it's much more dramatic if they do.
It's a daily practice for them to violate Starfleet's rules.
Exactly. Sean in the chat wants to know, is First Contact a must-have LaserDisc? I mean,
yeah, it's like $3,
right?
And it's probably one of the most entertaining studio sci-fi movies of the 90s, in an era where they weren't really doing a lot of, I'm going to say, like, accessible sci-fi. Like, there's some high concept stuff in the late 90s, Event Horizon, Gattaca, things like that. But this is like, you can watch this with your mom. You can watch this with your young child. You could watch this with your friends. Like, this is like the everyman's Star Trek movie. It's funny. It's got some good action, and it's got a good heart at its core.
Yeah,
I'd say, yeah.
It's folksy. It's got a lot of good, like Marcus said, a lot of good, like, pro-humanity. That's not, I don't know, it's not very cynical, which is something you don't find in a lot of big action movies.
Well, that's sort of like Star Trek's sort of core, isn't it? Or it has been, right?
That's what they try to do, yeah. I mean, sure, Picard does go off the deep end at one point. It's pretty filled with rage, and but Alfred Woodard's there to talk him down. So
yeah, it's a pretty pro the ideal version of humanity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good times.
All right. I want to do a wolf pick.
Uh-oh.
And then we'll move into the next thing. So I've got 2 discs here. And I want you to pick these solely based on cover alone.
Okay.
That's the challenge for those of you who are familiar with these movies. So, we've got two movies. We've got Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, and we've got Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Evaluating them just based on cover alone, which one are we going to go with today, gentlemen?
I'll go first. I'm going with 5, primarily because you see two main characters there versus just ships flying around. So I'm thinking there must be strong characters in the film, and there's probably good a story associated with them. I know you'll get the other stuff, coming with being a sci-fi Star Trek film. So I'm going with 5.
Okay, we got one vote for 5.
Nice.
Ryan, what are you feeling?
Man, I'm just seeing 5. I really do like the Klingon in the background in 6. Like, it's like, ooh, that guy looks mean. And if you know, even if you haven't seen it, if you know anything, knowing it's a Klingon centric or having a lot of Klingons in it, you're like, this is gonna smoke. So I think that's without knowing which ones are which and saying which ones are which. Just based on that, I would be more excited to see the Klingon one.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
Right.
I like 5 because of the balance, and I also like that Shatner looks like he's wearing like eyeliner or something. So I just picture him as like a Gary Newman-esque kind of like leader of some emo like industrial band or something. But I'm actually going to pick 6 because it's not centered. It's a little askew. It's got angles, and I like that the kind of faces coming out of the explosion going at an angle. The Enterprise is flying at another angle, and then again, like Ryan said, just the Klingon face staring at you from behind. I don't know. It's just super dynamic. So I'm going.
And he's got an eye patch, like.
Yeah, the more you look at it, you're like,
me.
oh, he's got an eye patch. There's a story there.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to give you a counterpoint to the eye patch. Star Trek V has a bunch of sick ass looking dudes on horseback.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying, like they would run you over in a second.
They should have had like a big horseback battle like at the end of that movie.
Based on the cover alone, this dude can't even see in 3D. It's just not the way his eyes are going to work. So, all right.
But that makes him meaner.
I'm sort of doing adjustments to my brain and thinking I'm, 14, 15, standing in the video store. Back at that point, I used to go to the model shop to buy AMT, ERTL model kits of ships, and the Enterprise A was I love the first film. It has a lot of Kubrick-esque or 2001-esque shots of the Enterprise A, slow shots, and as much as I don't like the film, but looking at the big picture of the Enterprise A, or this is the Enterprise A in this situation, makes my heart go bump 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 a little bit more. So I have to pick 5 because I'm a bit of a ship's geek. Sure. So regarding E, I didn't like E. It's too pointy. Should be round.
Oh, so we did have complaints. Excellent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I complain myself.
You're coming in on the back end.
Yeah.
To slander the best looking starship in the Star Trek franchise.
Oh no,
that's not the Reliant. The Reliant's the best one.
The Reliant?
Come on.
Tubby looking starship from
it's like
2?
Ford
that's a good
Fiesta.
one. That's a good one. And the Stargazer with the 4 nacelles.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah.
That's pretty sweet, but most of the early Excelsior.
We forgot to mention Alfred Woodard's great scene when Picard breaks his little toy ships.
You broke your little ships?
Because for context, so in Picard's room there is models of the older Enterprise, and he breaks them. And in the show, we had a model of his first ship, which was the 4 nacelle one.
That did not make it into the Enterprise E showcase.
No.
All right, so we got a 2-way split.
What's your favorite?
I'm going to break it. I'm going to break it with 6.
Nice.
Simply because we've got a picture of the trio that sits at the heart of the next or of the original series movies. You've got Bones, you've got Spock, and you've got Shatner, and they're doing the thing, and you know this is going to be hot because they are knee deep in a supernova.
Yep.
I'm going to say it looks hot. This one looks like there's going to be a bunch of smoke and action.
So
This one looks like it's going to be more of a Western.
It should have been. I would have watched that.
Star Trek was a Western in space. That was the concept when they pitched
Wagon Train to the Stars, of course.
Yeah. I mean, when I watched Wild Wild West like for the first time, I was like, "Oh, dude, this is just like Star Trek, but not in space." I mean,
Should we talk about the curse? Marcus, do you know about the curse?
oh yeah,
No.
So there's the odd movie curse, which is Star Trek 1 isn't as good. Star Trek 2 is really, really good. Star Trek 3 isn't bad, but it's weaker. Star Trek 4 is better. Star Trek 5 isn't that good at all.
The worst one.
Yeah.
The worst one, yes, by far. And then Star Trek 6 really is great. So the guy that did 2 did 6 again later, and I think he was involved in 4, right?
He was. He directed the space. I think he directed the San Francisco scenes or something like that. He and Nimoy co-directed that movie. That's all we need to know.
Yeah. And then the first with the Next Generation one, which will be technically the 7th one, is
okay.
It's okay.
Come on. Generations is a slop fest of a movie.
Yeah. Well,
Also has a bit of time travel too. So
yeah. And then this one again is an even number, which makes it good. But then that changed, or
a lot of people hate Nemesis. So
well, Nemesis, they try and like retcon and like work around the ending of Nemesis in the first season of Picard, and it's like, all right. Has anyone here seen Picard?
no.
The first season.
No.
So that's why I actually brought up First Contact as the choice for this particular episode, because Picard has just finished its 3rd season when we had we planned this episode. So a lot of what First Contact deals with comes back around in this big bombastic finale season of Picard.
Yeah.
Do I think that it lives up to the promise of First Contact? 2 months out, I could take it or leave it. But it was exciting that they tried. You know, so often a lot of franchise stuff doesn't really try anything interesting. So it was fun to see them go in a weird direction with such a classic story.
Oh, Spencer's saying 5's better than 3. That's strong words right there.
And that's why Spencer is going to jail.
Words.
I've already called the cops. We're swatting Spencer as
the 3's probably my favorite out of the odd movie curse. Yeah, I mean,
if you watch those 3 together, it's like it totally works.
Yeah.
Totally works. Yeah.
So
by the next time,
Marcus, if you're looking out for it, there is that Star Trek the movie Voyages blue box that has Star Treks 1 through 7. If you can get that for like $15 somewhere, I think you'd have a really good time with about half of those movies.
It's a US box.
Yeah, you can get the cool bilingual Japanese box though too.
Okay, I can't find that one. It's a sore subject for me, and now I'm mad all over again.
Back it off.
Sorry.
Now I'm looking.
Forget I mentioned it. Forget I asked.
There's a really nice Star Trek Japanese box that's just the original series movies.
Is that the?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that one.
This one is they're letterboxed.
Listing
this one comes up frequently.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them out there. There's also a gold variant of this box that has the bilingual copies of each disc.
There we
Still
go.
looking.
Thanks, Ryan.
Still looking. Yeah, I've got the movie Voyages like somewhere upstairs, but this is my go-to these days if I've got the hankering for a Trek viewing in the basement. Both of them are pretty cheap though. There's a lot of them out there because, believe it or not, Trek was huge in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
As you mentioned it earlier, they put out Trek boxes all the way through into 2001.
Yeah.
I've got season 5 of Star Trek Voyager back here.
What's
up, Max?
We've got a new invader. It's Maxine, the LaserDisc Queen. Welcome. We're just finishing our discussion on Star Trek First Contact. Maxine, did you have a chance to watch Star Trek First Contact?
Call me out on this. I have it.
You have the poster.
Yeah, is there a poster inside?
Ooh. No, womp womp. I'm sure I have another copy that does.
Where did all those posters go? There got to be somewhere.
They're
The
all
garbage, Sam.
There's-
The garbage. I'm sorry. That's where they go.
Mine
Everyone
doesn't
went
even
to college. Mom ripped it off the wall.
Yeah. They're like, this was the 90s. So
Stop over this.
my grandma, I wanted to get a soundbite from my grandma because this is so her vibe.
Oh.
Like she loves Picard and she loves Star Trek. But I didn't have time to do that.
Aw.
But I'm sure she would have said something like, I love Picard.
Shout out to
You telling
Grandma.
me she wouldn't have given us a video essay on the nuances of Star Trek First Contact?
No, she's blind, so
Oh.
it would be like an audio essay.
Fair enough.
I mean, when Picard's talking, we're
Yeah.
all listening.
Exactly.
True.
All right. I believe before we move into our next part of the evening, Seth, you have an announcement for us.
Oh.
Am I right?
Yes, I do. So a couple of months back, a website went missing from the internet. I'm not a frequent visitor of LDF, and I've sometimes visited this webpage, and all of a sudden it's gone. And I spoke to my friends who are in this podcast. And, oh yeah, it's been gone for a little while. And I work in the sort of web hosting business in tech support, and so I found out that I could register the same address but .com instead of .co.uk. So this is a very old page. It just vanished, and luckily I think Julian from LDDB had a backup, and he was nice enough to give it to me. We have tried to reach out to the original creator of the web page. Ghost us, email doesn't work. I don't know. But as of today, the old webpage known as laserdiscarchive.co.uk is now hosted at laserdiscarchive.com. It's the old hardware page.
Nice.
So-
Yeah,
This is
very
so
nice.
useful. I use this all the time.
Same here.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't need to use the Wayback Machine. Do you have a screen in that resolution?
No.
1024 by 768.
No.
I think you'd be hard pressed to find a screen of that lower resolution in 2023.
Yeah, I mean, like the right side menu is way over.
Yeah, but I like that he at least put they're in alphabetical order, but he moved Sony and Pioneer up at the top.
Yeah, that was when I was like, that makes perfect sense because that's what you're looking for first, anyways.
Yeah, put
But
Panasonic
there's
up there too, but
I should put Panasonic up there because I
Yeah.
am free right now.
So
But
now we're going to update and create the definitive hardware website.
Oh my gosh,
I don't know.
I got so much info for this.
Julian is doing a lot of stuff on LDDB with his sort of version. I don't know if I'm going to add things here. We'll see how it's going to. But it's there as as an archival version, and it's got like an easy access. I think Julian has a version of this on. The manual part doesn't work, so I'll have to fix that later. I've cleaned away all his PayPal links, and his email is going to me now and stuff like that. And so I started this project like a couple of months ago, and tonight I said, "Gosh darn it! Well, I'll come on the podcast." So for the couple of hours before, I did all the fixing. So I did fixed 2 pages, Pioneer and Sony, and then I fixed all of them down to Zenith.
nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. So just a lot of search and replace.
It's fun just to browse through like the Funais and the random brands
And
that you didn't realize.
I love these ancient
pages of this-
archival photos.
Yeah.
I like that the McDonnell Douglas IFS 4400 on this page is new.
it looks
And that's
new. It's
the best
sealed.
photo we have.
It
Is
is still
that-
in the plastic, which is very funny.
Is that an aviation company or is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is, right?
McDonnell Douglas is an aerospace company. Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
You should get one of those.
That's awesome. I can't believe you got it back up to running.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very cool.
The best one here is the Matrox LaserDisc player.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I didn't even know about this one.
It's just,
All right,
it's
I'm
really
done
fun.
hosting, guys. I gotta look at this. I gotta find this thing.
You need some time.
Yeah. Does I don't know. Does the chat have anything to say about this?
No, they just care about Star Trek. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Don't care
maybe
about-
they're running behind. Yeah. They're just
Yeah, it
stunned.
could be. because I use this from time to time. I went in there and it's like it was like like a muscle muscle memory, and like, what, it's gone.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, as I work for like a web hosting company, I see this all the time. I had a guy on the phone that he had created a website called oldphones.se, Swedish webpage, which was pictures of old telephones. And he called in and was like, "Oh, you have to cancel because I don't have it anymore." He was in his 70s and he has canceled the bill. So these things happen. Julian is doing a lot of work. So if you can donate to him, I get web hosting for free for this one, so I don't need any PayPal money right now. I might do in the future if I change jobs. I don't know.
Now the chat's excited. Lucas Shumway was looking for the site yesterday, so save the day, Seth.
You did? Amazing.
Yeah, so you should jump on LDF and let folks know.
I'm gonna do that.
That is live. Awesome.
So So that was I jumped in and announced this. So I've done my deed for the community, and
good job.
Now it's 3 a.m. and I think I need to go to bed.
Oh my gosh.
We thank you for coming on to talk Star Trek, and I think the community will all, even if they don't say it out loud, greatly appreciate this treasure trove that you've saved for us.
Yes,
it's alive.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah, the LDDB hardware is pretty good so far. There's been a lot of entries in there already. So I added a processor recently. So
LaserDisc Archive Resurrection.
Good job.
I love it. I love that. Yeah. I love that page. I'm so glad it's back. I had the same experience. I was like, what? It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
I got so scared.
Yeah, it's too bad it took a couple of months, but I've been swamped with work and family stuff. But it took one night or one evening.
I like there's some of the Pioneer players where they copied over the player comparison graph. Was really I forgot which players have it, but it's got like a side by side graph of like all the players from a certain fleet
like
era.
Noise floor and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's really handy. So.
Yeah, cool. Now we'll see if we can work on this and make it better. And perhaps at one point I had this idea that I was going to have this as an archive version and make like a new one based on this. But then also Julian is working, so let's not see if we want to reinvent the wheel. We'll see what happens. But it's back in its in an archival form. All right, guys. Thanks for having me, and have a great show. And thanks.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Bye, Seth.
We greatly appreciate your presence. We're doing the live long and prosper.
Yeah, of course we are.
Sorry. Do anything
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm a boomer right now. I haven't used Zoom in a long time. We're just close.
we got the dual Vulcan salutes.
Yeah.
We're going too. It's too extreme. Turn the stream off. We're gonna get flagged for pornography.
All right.
Bye, Seth.
So
bye.
Take it easy, Seth.
Same.
All right, we're ready to do our LaserDisc pickups.
Woo.
Come on, who's got discs?
I got discs.
Who's so excited? Okay, Sam's so excited that he wants to go first. In fact, I see him falling out of his chair to reach for them.
Yes.
What do you got?
It's been a long time, so I'm just going to do a carefully selected, curated list here. I left the state for quite some time, so I did a lot of shopping while I was out of state. But before I left, I did go to the archive, and I grabbed 99 disc, I think, the Paris concert. The only Radiohead LD I have. I've been looking for this for a while. Also, Peter Gabriel.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, various concert laser discs. So it was score. It was only $5. $5 score. So shout out to the archive. And then flash forward to present day. Marcus hooked me up with Straight Out of Brooklyn. Thanks, Marcus.
Wow.
While he was traveling, he found this.
You got it.
Yeah. Oh, and
yeah,
I
knew you were looking for it.
There's a bonus in here, but I don't want to tip what that is. I'll show that later. While I was in Pittsburgh, I stopped by a shop and I grabbed $1 Million Mystery, which is a really bad movie from 1987. That was like basically an ad for Glad trash bags. They
Stop. I need this now.
Yeah, it's got Eddie Deason, so you know it's good. But yeah, they basically did a real life $1 Million Mystery. Like the movie has clues as to where the last $1 million is hidden, and then you as a viewer could like enter the contest. And it was super obvious. It was like in the bridge of the nose of the Statue of Liberty, and everybody
Oh, you
guessed it.
ruined it.
Uh,
Spoilers.
And then, so they just drew like a name out of random. But hilariously, the movie didn't even make $1 million at the box office, and then they gave away $1 million, and then it cost $10 million on top of it. So I'm super happy to have this.
Wow, that's so cool.
My local record stores all randomly had a nice minty LD, so I grabbed Forbidden Planet.
Nice.
'Tis the season, and I didn't have the reissue of War of the Worlds yet either, so I grabbed that.
Nice.
That's a good one.
And of course, Betty Davis, completely insane, and Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, wild movie.
So good.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah, it's a nice one. All right, let's move on ahead.
Oh, just a side note.
Yeah.
A woman in Bakersfield, California, won the contest.
Oh, okay, she won. All right.
I'm reading the trivia page right now, and it was one of the biggest box office disasters of the 80s. It barely grossed $1 million at the box office, and then the studio just gave away $1 million to this random lady.
And
That's
this,
amazing.
yeah, like Kevin Pollak's in it. A couple of cool people, but yeah.
It's kind of like Rat Race on the cover, you know?
It's pretty much the same movie as Rat Race, yeah. Though I think it preceded Rat Race, so.
Yeah,
was
well,
directed-
Rat Race is 2000.
It was directed by the same guy who made Soylent Green.
Yeah, Fleischer.
And 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
I think it was his last movie, too.
God, it was.
Yeah. He had been doing like the
Oh my
Conan stuff.
God.
Wow.
Amityville 3D.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
he did like
shit.
Destroyer and like Red Sonja or something. Yeah,
Wow. What a catalog.
check it out. All right, moving right along. I had to get for Halloween.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Been looking for this one
That's
for
the best
ages.
one.
The best one.
Yeah.
Me and Ryan
That's the one.
were busting on this because it was listed as untrimmed CinemaScope whatever version.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the Obi and it says that exactly. It's like untrimmed CinemaScope. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a CinemaScope size, original, whatever. And then it even says on, so that legitimately is, it's like Halloween untrimmed CinemaScope. Yeah. So
Nonsense.
So we were totally bagging on the vendor, but they were just writing it down exactly as it is on the Obi. So joke's on us. But
Uncarved jack-o'-lantern version.
exactly, had to get that. Had to get some Telp. Never Say Die.
Oh,
Black
Big.
Sabbath.
smoke.
Watch that the other. The band is, man. You just it's like they're gonna explode into it like a cloud of cocaine. They are just so
Wow.
fired up. It is badass. And of course, Ozzy's got his like sweet bell bottoms, and he's dancing around.
Fringe. The Fringe era. Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah. This is pretty much the end of the Ozzy era before Dio showed up. So had to get Iron Maiden live at Donington, Iron Maiden Gatefold.
Ooh.
So
that's dope.
it's a nice one. It's weird on the cover here. Like you can see the shot of the stage is a little blurry, and like all the long shots are kind of blurry. It's weird. I don't know. The cameras just weren't good enough, and they just didn't focus or whatever. But still, the tunes rip. That's all that counts.
Yeah.
Finally got Megadeth Rusted Pieces, which has like a little bonus on the Japanese disc.
Cool.
Interview with them. This is pretty wild because it's got Megadeth videos up until Rust in Peace, but it's got interviews with the band, and Dave Mustaine and Dave Ellefson have some very, very interesting things to say that you could probably not say in a home
Are you
video
saying
nowadays.
interesting, spicy things to say?
Spicy, yeah. Like these guys, maybe should have said these things behind closed doors to each other while they're goofing around, and maybe not on a actual home video product. But it was the late '80s, so apparently, go for it.
Listen. I hear the late 80s, there were no laws.
Right? Yeah. Or actually, no, that was probably 1990, probably. So yeah,
All right, definitely in the 90s. You see some of the movies they put out back then?
dude.
Woo.
I got AC/DC at Donington, no Obi, but sometimes you just got to take that gamble. I think it'll
Yeah.
still work though.
I think so.
Might be a little blurrier than that Maiden one.
Yeah.
though.
Probably, yeah, half resolution. I finally got Van Halen video hits.
Nice.
Volume
Nice.
Okay, what's the cutoff for that Van Halen disc?
Humans Being, baby, right up to
All right.
Twister. So
Nice.
yeah,
Probably actually a decent disc.
yep. Had to get the kind of video companion to the album, Infected by the. So Really good stuff.
That's good stuff. I have the US one. That's good.
And still chipping away at the Kate Bush. Got the whole story.
Yeah.
One of the reissues. So lots of good tracks. Almost done. Got some Japanese fusion, Cassiopeia. This is like in their like super 80s period too. So there are keytars and kind of like keytar drum machines going on. There's some wild stuff in here. So there's nothing more 80s than this. And was that it? Oh no, I got another disc. Zbigniew Rybczynski, video director, did this big HD thing called The Orchestra. I've been meaning to check it out for ages, so I finally grabbed a copy of that as well. And that's about it. A bunch of other things that, aren't that exciting. So I'll just stop there.
That was a cool spread.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice.
All right, who's enthusiastic enough to go next? Brian, you
I'll
gotta
go.
have some discs. Oh, Marcus,
Yeah, I'll go.
you're on deck.
All right.
Wait. How many late releases do you have? And should
Actually,
I leave?
so this will be the first time that I've been on the podcast, and I don't have anything from 99, 2000, or
Whoa.
01 to show.
Okay,
First
I can
time.
Stick around.
But I've got some new stuff for me, dabbling into some of Ryan's territory, as you'll see kind of later on in what I share. But let's start with so I had been after a copy of The Wizard Howl. So it went by Video Kid in France. I've been after this for a long while. Austin, shout out to Austin, helped me source a copy from Europe. So I'm now Wizard complete. Don't have a way to view it here in the States just yet, but was super happy to find that.
You want a PAL player? Seth's got a line on one. He was just talking about it.
What's that?
Seth's got a line on a nice Pioneer CLD D925 PAL player. So
Yeah, that's the one to get. I'm just so worried about shipping it overseas. Like,
he's got one in the box still. So
Yep.
that's the way to go.
Maybe I need to talk to him.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see.
In the
He's
PAL
sending me
version, they play PlayStation.
The PAL version of Wizard.
Let's see. Luke sent me a copy of Whitney Houston,
Wow.
number ones. So on this one, You've Got Good Love, Saving All My Love for You, How Will I Know, and The Greatest Love of All.
Oh, how will I know? So good.
Yeah, this is my second Whitney disc.
Nice.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, this is for you, Sam. So some open mat goodness here with Top Gun.
Yep. And for the record, kids
35.
at home, Super 35 is not matted theatrically. They extract it and put it on a regular anamorphic print. So there are no theatrical mats to open. Therefore, it is not open mat. It is reframed.
Say it again. Say it
Either
again
way,
for the crowd.
Yeah.
open mat Top Gun.
Whatever.
Took forever to find this. I must have looked at, I don't know, 500 plus Top Gun listings to finally find one that didn't say widescreen across the top.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, cool to add.
Did you
So
find that it was worth it?
Yes, it's worth it. So I did take a brief look at this. The cockpit scenes are really cool because you get more image top and bottom.
More cock.
Yeah. Yes. I'm not going to repeat that.
Ryan.
But yes, Ryan.
Where's my gavel so I can bang it for
Oh
order?
my gosh,
Yeah.
you just completely threw me off.
He
Yes.
immediately muted himself too, which is hilarious. 'Cause, yeah. He knew.
Anyway, more image.
Yeah.
And more of what Ryan pointed out.
I'm sorry. I think you mean incorrect amount of image.
Well, yeah.
Incorrect amount of image, more image you're not supposed to see, all of those good
Well, like you
things.
said, it's
Yes.
got top and bottom because it's one of those ones that has a common center line. So it's got more everywhere.
More everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere.
Uncut Jack Lantern version.
Yeah. All right, let's do some things for this season that we're in. So I picked up Stephen King's It.
Nice.
Oh,
I've never seen this. I did not realize how long of a film this is.
Yeah, it's a
over
miniseries.
3 hours.
yeah.
Yeah, so when I looked at the back, or there's a couple of discs, and when I looked at the back of the chapter index, and it's on side 4. I'm like, what in the world is this? Is this 2 different versions of the same film? And I looked it up the running time. I'm like, oh my gosh, when am I going to find over 3 hours to watch this? I'm not sure, but anyway.
That one's cool too because it's got stuff from the beginning of night 2 that they cut out because they made it into a movie on DVD and they cut out like the opening titles and stuff and everything that happened under the titles they just cut out. So.
Let's see, another horror film. So I found this one in the wild. I posted on LDF about this. So this was the last Halloween that I needed to be what I'm considering Halloween complete. Don't like to use that word because there are some that don't have, but got all the Japanese and US releases minus I don't have the AC3 H2O because I have DTS, so there's no reason to double up on that. And I think there's like a pan and scan US that I don't have that doesn't offer me anything that over any other ones I have. So was really pumped to find this in the wild.
Yeah.
What's up?
Nothing. I'm just being a full screen bitch, if you will.
I mean, whenever you're into something, 20 years later, whatever sucked is the cool thing. So now it's like Letterboxd is lame and Open Mat is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
just embrace
Let's
it.
See. We talked about these either last episode or the episode before about how ridiculously priced they are.
Oh.
So I was happy to find these for a decent deal for what they are. Definitely not near eBay prices because eBay prices are really crazy on these Voltrons. So pumped to get those.
That's sweet.
Let's see. I don't remember who tipped me off on this one, but somebody tipped me off on Watchers. And I had actually never.
Altman?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Altman did. That's right. So Altman tipped me off on this one. It was for a reasonable price for what it was. Watched the trailer. Looks really fun. I'll probably end up spending this over the next couple of weeks during spooky season. Let's see, another Corey movie, Dream a Little Dream, with the Coreys.
Yep.
So cool to add another one of theirs, their films to the library. We'll stick with 80s films here. Just One of the Guys.
Oh my God.
I think I've only seen this like one time. And I watched the trailer to remind myself. It looks extreme. This is definitely a movie that would not be made today for so many reasons. But, yeah.
It's going to hold up just like that Megadeth LD interview I had.
Right.
Yeah.
So much inappropriate stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm going to pivot to some Cynthia Rothrock.
Ooh.
So Rothrock discs.
Okay.
So I've got a few of them. I'm working on getting all of them. Some of them are pretty unobtainium, but got several in the last few months since we've had the podcast. So Righting Wrongs. So interestingly, there's 2 versions of this. One has a defective. One is defective, and what it notes on LDDB is that the commentary track is on both audio tracks. So I intended to get the one that was not defective. Somehow I still ended up with a defective copy. Totally my mistake. But I'm happy to report that this is not actually defective. So the commentary track is not on the main track. And,
cool.
You don't hear any commentary. You just hear the film. So I was happy when I figured that out. All right. The Millionaires Express.
Nice.
This was a late-ish release. I think it was like 98, maybe. But another Rothrock. Then we got some. Yeah, and then we got some Hong Kong Rothrock. So I came up on, this is totally random how I found this one, but City Cops. This was just in a random lot that this guy posted up on one of the forums for sale, and I was scrolling through and I'm like, holy crap! Like, you don't see this one very often at all. So, and he was local to me. I still had it shipped, but
wow.
he was local to Southern California and got it for a very fair price. So pumped to find that.
It's worth it for the epic mustache alone.
Literally.
Yes. All right. Prince of the Sun, another Hong Kong Rothrock that is not often seen. Love the cover on this one. And then on the back, I mean, good gracious, look at the kicks and the flying through the air.
All right,
This
so I'm
is gonna be a
not
fun watch.
familiar with Rothrock at all.
Oh yeah.
What's
So
her deal?
she's a I don't even know what level grandmaster, but basically world champion, karate champion. And so she made in the 80s and 90s a ton of martial arts films. A lot of
Okay.
them geared towards Hong Kong market. So that's why you see a lot of Hong Kong only or Singapore only releases for her films.
Okay.
Yeah, she went and made movies over there starting in the 80s, and she didn't break into the U.S. mainstream till really the 90s. She'd already been kicking ass for like a decade.
Oh yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. And then the last Rothrock that I picked up, another pretty rare one, hard to find, the Blonde Fury.
Nice.
I like that it looks like she's holding
A remote.
a remote.
Not
Yeah.
in English at all, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, right.
She's changing the channel.
On
Change
a,
to the channel.
on a 1980s console
And
TV.
this is not an Obi. This is not an Obi. It's a little
Wow.
deceiving.
Phoebe.
Kobe,
Yeah,
yeah.
Phoebe from Hong Kong.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. I think this one is Brian, you have to correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is a Singapore release. City Dragon.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. It's a weird one.
Yeah. I think this is Singapore. Another martial arts film. There's some like urban vibes to
It
this
might
one.
be Indonesian.
Oh, Indonesian. You're right. Indonesia. Yep. I think this one's Hong Kong. It's got one of the guys from American Gladiators.
Sweet.
in
Yeah.
it. So that's
My
all I
God.
needed to know. So I pick this one up.
Look at
Killing
these
Zone.
jeans on the cover. They're like
Yeah.
unzipped.
Yes. He's ready to do damage.
Yeah.
For
Those
sure.
abs can't be contained.
Yeah, you got to stay loose.
Darren McBee or something like that.
Love that logo too.
I know.
All right. Just a couple more. So this one is Indonesian. I know that.
Ah,
Yeah.
So got some Hogan, Secret Agent Club.
And Barry Bostwick.
well, yeah.
Yeah, but Hogan is all. Just like it's Hogan. All right, last one. I'll probably be watching this within the next week or so with the kids.
Oh,
Found
yeah.
a copy of Little Monsters. Was
Sweet.
very excited to find this and got it for a really good deal for what it is. So super pumped to have found this.
Finally, one that I recognize.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So who am I passing it over to? Who's next?
Ryan?
I'll go.
Right.
Okay.
Brian?
Here we
All
go.
right, pass it off to Ryan.
I'm going to start off with a U.S. release. And
What?
I feel like it's really on brand with the podcast tonight. And that is
Aha.
Free Enterprise.
Oh my
Little
god!
late release.
This is a late release. I finally tracked one down. I'd missed this one so many times, so I was more than happy
Wait,
to
did you
pick it up.
Jumanji switch bodies with Marcus? He's getting the Indonesia movies. You're getting the 99 movies now. So
Yeah, we
no,
planned this.
Yeah.
we planned it.
Yeah, you know. It's been so long that we just started buying the things that each other were buying, and now it's a dialogue. It's like, no, I got that one. Go for it. No. Some sweet Japanese-only horror. I need to watch this. The Evictors.
ooh.
I tracked down a copy with the Obi, which is I've only seen one. So,
Yeah, I
Wow.
never see that without or with. Sorry.
and then one more Japanese release before I go crazy. Now, this one I'd been looking for. I wasn't quite sure it was real. And then some ridiculously expensive copy popped up on LaserDisc database, and I'm like, I'm not spending that on something that I still don't know what the contents are. So I tracked down the last Beast Wars disc.
Ooh.
This is Beast Wars Special, and it says widescreen, only side one's widescreen. It's got a couple of it's got a movie or like an extended episode that's only in Japan, only in Japanese. And then it's got some other really cool things. Like the first part is a recap of the series. The second one is one of the episodes only in Japanese, which the Beast Wars Japanese theme is way cooler than the US one.
Wow.
And then this is a Japanese only. It was never released in the US, so it's not even translated.
Huh.
But this is a I forget like how they call it, but I wrote a nice little update on LaserDisc database and updated the information. So even though it's widescreen, it's only widescreen on side one. But this one was one I'd been looking for years, and I finally found it. So really happy about that.
Rules.
That's super cool.
And then I got some random cool stuff from other places. I don't like to show doubles usually, but sometimes your doubles are really cool, like this Hong Kong beanstalk. So we got a sweet moonbeam, and it's the hardest to find moonbeam.
Yeah, no joke.
practically. And so I couldn't not double dip on that.
Well, yeah, you got to have two.
Yeah, that's right. Got some street corner justice.
Now we're getting
Smoking a
into
cigarette. You got some guys hanging out the
we're
corner.
getting into
I
Rotarian
think they have
territory.
guns, but it's kind of blurred. And then it's got Tiny Lister in it, so you know it's a good
Wow.
movie.
Wow.
I'm sorry, it's got who in it?
Tiny Lister.
Yeah.
Known for?
Fifth Element.
Debo from Friday.
There you go.
The president from freaking
Yeah.
Fifth Element.
No holds
Yep.
barred.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. I'm gonna. There's egg all over my face.
You can see yourself out. It's okay.
Oh,
I got some Tides of War.
Whoa.
Holy shit!
All I know is it's some kind of war movie with an amazing explosion.
Looks hot.
Looks like they're fighting Nazis. So, this
Wow.
ragtag group with a little bit of, love action is fighting the bad guys. So
David
can't be
Soul's
bad.
cool, so that's good.
Yeah. See? There's something for everyone in that one.
Yeah.
By that you mean like 3 people.
Close enough. Kill and Kill Again.
wow.
Yeah.
This is
Is that Twin Towers on the front? Is there one Twin Tower?
don't just
Notice it.
Whoa. Slow down.
All
Slow
right.
down.
All right.
This is a Chinese release, so it's got multi or bilingual audio.
Oh.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
There they are.
Yeah. So notice that.
We needed to notice them.
Notice.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on, but this is one of the cool ones that it actually has a Chinese track. So I don't know if it's subtitled. I'll have to look, but it might not be. Moving on, we've got Yellow Hair and the Fortress of Gold.
What am I doing in this movie?
Yeah. Starting back
No.
I
scene.
don't remember it.
Another crazy. I believe this one's also Chinese only, like not Hong Kong. So
I
digging
love
deep on those. Got some sweet Robert Carradine,
Ooh.
Oh.
Bird of Prey, not to be confused with Birds of Prey. This is
How?
Indonesian only.
How have you not run out of these obscure ass movies?
I ask the same question every day,
Right.
and then like new ones pop up. It seems.
Like I keep on thinking this has got to be the last one, and then you pop up like 11 more.
I mean, we're not done here. We're not done.
There's 11 to come.
You've heard of Street Fighter, but this
Yes.
is an American Street Fighter.
Oh, yeah.
He fights
Oh,
with guns.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry,
American
that's
way.
American E5.
Martial arts and guns. Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
wow.
That's the American way.
Those pants are everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is peak. So, really looking forward to this one. It can't be bad.
Pure heat on the. I
Can't be
feel it.
bad.
Yeah.
How can you guarantee that it can't be bad?
Did you see the cover?
Did you see
Did
the
you see
cover?
the cover?
Did you see
But
the
that
front
means
and the
nothing.
back?
Star Trek
We were-
5 had an excellent cover.
Moving on to a comedy that they probably
Oh.
couldn't make now.
Oh.
Body Waves,
Ew.
Beaches, Blondes, and Buns
Wow.
under the hot Malibu sun.
He's
Oh,
actually
Malibu.
A little bit
Now
of
I get
surfing,
it.
surfing cleavage.
over her boobs,
Yeah.
obviously.
I get
you
it
know.
now. It's Malibu.
Um, Yeah, so this is going to be just tacky as hell, but it's got the Obi still. So this is a Hong Kong, I believe,
Wow.
Obi. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think it's Hong Kong. So
Super cool.
we're almost done here.
I don't believe it.
Got Order of the Eagle. Just some dudes with guns. Obviously, these are probably the good guys, and these look like the bad guys.
Wow.
Could be wrong.
I like the fact that the guy's hand on the left looks like it's like photoshopped in, doesn't belong with the guy with the cigarette in the other hand at all.
Listen, they were limited on the Photoshop resources. On the back, it's more, let's just throw some 4x6s we made on the cover and add some text and
Playing
print
cards
it.
photos. I like it.
Man.
Yep.
I was.
So
I thought
this
it was
is,
Order of the Black Eagle at first, and I was like, oh, I wish
No,
I
no,
was
no.
on LD. That'd be so amazing.
And then this one I was looking for a long time, finally tracked it down. This is Space Mutiny with Reb Brown.
It's also known as
And,
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, pretty much.
They stole all the footage from Battlestar. It's great.
Good.
Yeah.
They should have. They probably made it better.
It's South African. And they just had no budget. They're like, we'll just borrow this TV show's effects.
Wow.
I mean, you know, why not? And that's probably why there's no U.S. release.
Universal would sue the pants off them.
Right.
Wow.
Got Harbor Beat here. Yeah, some dudes, obviously like beat cops, it looks like, protecting the harbor.
Looks like the dude from Four Weddings at a Funeral.
Dude's got the smallest pistol I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I believe that's the Opera House, right?
Oh, is it Sydney? All right.
It looks like it. I don't know. Yeah.
They could have put him on the car with a little bit of a bigger.
Yeah. So it's a cop from Glasgow and a guy from.
It might be the Four Weddings at a Funeral guy. What's the name of it?
Yeah. Who knows? But obviously they find themselves in Australia, in
Wow.
Sydney.
Harbor
I
Beat.
love that we all have to go on like a mini adventure every time Ryan brings these incredibly obscure Indonesian releases
I love it.
to our
I mean,
table.
It is
why
the
I'm here.
dude from Four Weddings at a Funeral, the Mummy movies, John Hannah.
Jesus
Nice.
Christ.
Nice.
Man.
I got a little bit of a cool one here. Faceless. This is
Whoa.
Jess Franco.
Ooh.
This
Whoa.
one is really hard to track down.
That's crazy looking.
So I'm looking forward to that. And then I got one more. Shout out to Chris Altman. He'll know what I'm talking about. This is The Devil's Honey, which is Fulci.
Oh,
Shout out to
It's,
Moiki.
the most creative use of a saxophone since Lost Boys.
I think
Oh my gosh.
Moiki was the first dude at LDF to post that back in the day.
oh.
Yeah. And then they did censor the back cover.
Oh, thanks.
Little
So
star.
thank you for that nice star to make it safe for YouTube.
You.
But I've been looking for that one for a while because why wouldn't you look for all the Fulci films? So
Of course.
yeah, those are my pickups. They're kind of boring.
Wow.
Who's next?
All right. I'll have a nice stack. Probably far too many, so I'll just have to like pick and choose. But we'll start with the sickest one I'm most stoked on. Digital Man.
Ooh.
Not
Nice.
he's with RoboCop.
Totally different.
Totally different because he's a digital man.
Yeah.
Not a robot man. But it's RoboCop adjacent, so anything in that regard I'm interested in. I want all of the ninjas, so had to have the little ninjas.
Do you have 9.5 ninjas?
I have 9.5 ninjas.
Okay.
And I
Making
got
sure you have the erotic ninja one.
yes, I actually have the erotic ninja one.
All right.
And then where's the other ninja? Hold on, I have one more ninja I was gonna show. Oh here. They gotta have surf ninjas as
Oh,
well.
yeah. Yep.
Very important.
Classic.
Why would they be surfing? How are they supposed to be stealthy in the water?
They
You
serve
gotta
that
watch
well.
out.
They're that good.
It's important. The surfing is important. Okay. We have Think Big.
Yes. Barbarian Brothers.
Yep.
Oh yes. Been wanting this for a long time, and I got a lot locally, and pretty much all these were in there. It was very Brotarian lot.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Model by
Ooh.
night.
Kickboxer by night.
Yes. She's a knockout.
Literally.
Literally. I love it. Okay.
Ooh, snap.
The Gargoyles TV show. It's gonna be there.
Did
Yeah.
you hear that they just announced a live action remake of the Gargoyles program?
Oh my god.
Wow.
This was like my favorite. I freaking loved this show when I was a kid. I love this shit.
I used to watch it.
I don't really remember it anymore, but I know that I loved it, and I'm really stoked to like watch this again. It's gonna unlock.
Yeah, that's got the voice talents of Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
So if
fame,
you
as
love
I
First
recall.
Contact,
Look at me on point right now. Space.
again,
Marines.
Space Marines. Huh?
Marines.
Yeah.
Protecting the future with a vengeance goes so hard.
Wow.
So hard.
Look at that stare. He's got an eye patch too.
I love an eye patch.
Staring with an eye patch.
I love an eye patch. Oh my god. Okay, we've got
Whoa.
Flesh and Others.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then we've got
Hell yeah.
I love this. I have a lot of sci-fi. This person was like really interested in sci-fi and Broterian shit.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Isn't that the one with Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, I think she's
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's there.
Somehow that one got 2 releases with different covers.
Huh.
Like,
yeah,
I
I
don't know.
think I have both or something.
Yeah, that's the remastered one,
Okay.
and the other cover's quite different.
Yeah, but like, why did it get a remaster? Like, did they sell so many because of Carrie Fisher? Like,
I think so.
They must have.
Got it.
nice.
Thomas
C.
Howell.
Thomas.
I don't know how close I am to, but the Nancy Allen's in here of RoboCop. So,
Is that Fiorentino in there too?
yes.
Nice. Yeah, she kicks ass.
Oh, sick. Now I'm extra stoked. I recognized 2 out of 3. I was like, that's pretty good,
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
right? This is another one that I was like, just waiting to find locally.
Such a weird movie, but it's fun.
Is it
It's
good?
like-
It's good-ish. It's just weird, but it's, I don't know. You had to watch it in the 80s.
Why is Ed Harris in it of all people?
I
Like,
know.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah,
Tom Cruise and Ed Harris. Like,
it's
how
like
did they cross paths?
it's like a Red Fest with dudes on motorcycles and their drama around them. It's so weird.
Couple more.
Ooh.
yes.
That's as good as The Matrix, I bet.
I know, right? It has that vibe.
Yeah.
And now C. Thomas Howell.
And it's more rare than The Matrix.
Good point.
Probably. It's got helicopters.
There are a lot of discs that are more rare than the Matrix.
Lunar Cop.
Is he actually on the moon? I don't see any moon.
I hope he's on the moon. It's it's the 21st century on the Earth's moon.
Oh, okay.
It's
Nice.
the moon.
It's probably
But-
been. Whoa, what's that guy making a face? Did
He's
someone
got a
fart?
shit-
He's got the gas face.
It's Lunar Cop face.
So, like, the U.S. release of that is called Solar Force. So I don't know why one's Solar Force, one's Lunar Cop.
Well, I don't know if I even have Solar Force, so now I feel all right. That's good to know. I don't think I have both. I think I'm last resort complete.
Whoa.
Like every single version of anything relating to the title Last Resort, apparently I have now.
Score.
This is the last one that I needed.
The
But
last resort.
last resort. And I think I will end it on so many choices. Which one shall I show? I'll show a freaking end with Dice Clay.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Brain
Got
smash.
Terry Hatcher. I know who that is.
Right?
Yeah, that's almost a movie.
That's kind of a movie, I think. I mean, it seems like it's a movie.
Yeah.
There's some big butt happening, but there's also like a concert.
Yeah, who's playing? That
I don't
I need to
know.
know.
Yeah, no, we
Hold
need
on.
to know that.
All right. Back to
Let's
my
invest-
phone.
Yes, let's figure that out. Oh, Tim Thomerson's in this.
You should read the catchphrase on the front of the cover.
Rescue a supermodel. Battle killer ninjas. Ninjas. Okay. Save the world. No
Not
problem.
more ninjas.
No problem.
All right. Who's the
I love
band?
it. Killer ninjas. A fanatical gang, it says on the back. This is amazing. I love it. Who is in this damn band?
I know. I'm trying to look, but
We'll have to figure that out.
yeah, Google's let me down so far. I got to do a deep dive here.
Damn. Who is this band of ninjas, though? Is this them?
Yeah.
They kind of look hard.
Yeah, maybe they rock out and then they just go on adventures after they're done with their show.
Yeah. Damn. All right. Pretty stoked on that.
I don't know if the band is real because some stunt guy is credited as the bass player.
What?
Oh,
No, what? A stunt dance?
Oh my god.
well, that's a bummer. I was hoping it was like Armored Saint or something.
I know, me too. Oh, I love Armored Saint.
Right?
Oh,
They couldn't afford an actual band.
Yeah, or Cannibal Corpse or
Armored
something.
Saint wouldn't have been that expensive.
Yeah. All All right, report back if there's any band action.
Yeah, for real. I'll look. All right, I'll call it there. I have a huge stack, but
Okay, so then I think it's time for some LD hot topics.
yeah.
We're ready, folks.
What are
Okay.
the topics?
My first hot topic, it seems to be a big one in the forums and a big one in our own personal discussion group. How do you pack a LaserDisc player so that it survives shipping?
Correctly.
2 boxes.
You know,
2 boxes. Float them.
2 boxes? Like, what do you put in them? Like, I shipped
All right.
one and it broke.
Do I need to explain exactly how I do this?
Yep.
Is this what's needed?
Oh, do you actually ship LaserDisc players on
I do.
the regular?
And they've all made it
shipped
alive.
I've literally shipped them to the UK. I've shipped them to Canada. I've shipped them, literally within the same state across the United States. Like, I've shipped them all over the place.
I just sent one to Luke like last year.
Yeah.
Showed up fine.
I had no idea you guys were doing this.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, run down the double box, Max.
Yeah,
Okay.
what's the process here?
So you got your player. I wrap the cord in saran wrap. I wrap the whole player in a nice little layer of saran wrap, and then I bubble wrap everything. So you have something to tape to.
Yep.
And then once you've got your little bubble, you put it in the box. You put peanuts around the box, underneath, on top, all of it. You fill the whole space of the inner box with peanuts. And then you put you close that whole box up, put that inside the outer box. And that box, whatever, you shouldn't have much. You should have about like a 2-inch gap between the sizes. So if your player's like like an 18 by 18 by 18 box, then you're putting it in a 20 by 20 by 20 box. And you have that extra gap with peanuts.
Yep. I also steal
All right.
the any like really heavy duty cardboard square corners from any boxes I get from
Yes.
any shipments, and I keep them. And sometimes I'll add those on the edges of the LaserDisc packing for the inside. Just give a little extra sturdiness there. I also started cutting in handholds too in the outer box
That's a good
because
idea.
sometimes when I'm done, the box is it's
Huge.
kind of unwieldy. Yeah, so I figure it'll make the driver's life better if there's some handholds on the side. So I did that with
then you
Luke's
can
box.
throw it better.
Yeah, I mean he could really get a good. Whoa.
Good shot put on that
But
one.
otherwise, I just picture his hand sliding off the side. He's sweating in the heat, and it just falls to the ground. Yeah.
They're unwieldy.
But yeah, I haven't had a single dead player yet. Knock on.
Yeah, knock on no.
Some of us just drive across the country to get ours.
I've done
Yeah.
that too, or
Yeah,
halfway across the country. But
same.
I will say I have not had the same track record that you guys have had. I think I'm like maybe
Well,
one
I've
for
never seen
2.
one. I've never seen one.
That's true. I didn't learn from the best, clearly.
Yeah,
I should
same
be
here,
buying-
Chris.
I should be buying way more LaserDisc players.
You should buy them from me. You should be buying discs from me. They will arrive in nice shape.
I haven't bought a LaserDisc in 3 months.
Wow. He's off the
Until
wagon.
today.
yeah,
That is true. That is true. I did actually buy a couple today.
I bought one today.
I broke the streak.
I
Oh
think,
my god.
I think I bought one today. Yeah.
I didn't buy one today. I'm feeling
Wow.
left in.
I bought one today.
Good job. You got
See,
broken
we all
players
went-
too,
we all
Marcus?
went- We all
No, I did not buy. No, I'm good on players for now. Oh
All
my
right.
gosh, no.
we've all gone through our bit of retail therapy for the day.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say about a month ago, I was driving back from Canada after seeing Oppenheimer, and I came back to the United States, and I found that Linus Tech Tips, known, sort of infamous, but huge YouTuber, had released a video about LaserDisc. Has anyone here seen that video?
I
No.
started to watch it, but I didn't.
A little bit.
I did not watch it. It looks so dumb. I refuse to even give it any airtime.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I made it about 2 minutes into that video, and they started talking about the audio, that it was THX certified.
Yep.
And I sighed so hard that I think my phone flew out of my car.
Similar. I clicked it in the second that I saw him showing the eBay ad for him buying a ridiculously overpriced laser active
Yep.
with single side, and he's like doing it all. I'm like, you're doing it wrong. You're not here to talk about laser active. You're trying to watch and talk about LaserDisc. Like, it's a single side. You're not doing it right.
Yeah, you don't buy the middle of the road LaserDisc player with a Genesis tape to it.
It's not even middle of the road. It's not a good player at all.
No, it's. I've got one. It's really bad.
It's for LaserDiscs.
I'd rather take an S201 for sure, even though they're based on the same Mac.
It is. Yeah, by and large, it's, I think, pretty finicky. Every laser active I've run into has had some sort of problem with it. But it sounds cooler. I can see why, from a business sense, for Linus's audio, that he picked the laser active, because where's the flashy value in an R7G versus this one could play Sega Genesis games?
He could have at least got a Muse player and then, like, you know,
get the wrong decoder, like
wrong statements about that too, and how they don't work or something.
Exactly.
Well, it's funny. They do mention that there's like HD laser discs out there, but they don't do anything with that information. Yeah, like to this day,
I'm kind of good with that though. They shouldn't do anything with that.
To this day, I've never seen a Muse disc in action. It's on my bucket list. But
gotta go to Sam's house.
Yeah, party, man.
Have we noticed any meaningful shift in the community at all after the release of this video, or has it kind of just blown over?
Oh yeah, Ryan. Right.
There's like a lot more spam on trying to get into the group again. Like, it had died down, and then that video hit, and the spam like went way up. There's been I wouldn't say there's that many more members. There were a couple of days there were like, oh, there were a few new people that showed up, but no, I think that my guess is maybe that like it's too far out there for most people to kind of jump into, and showing a laser active doesn't help, because that's not an entry level for anything.
Yeah.
So
good luck getting one. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's not even good luck getting one. Good luck getting one that you don't have to spend a bunch more money and time on. You know,
and then good luck getting the things that make it interesting. Pyramid Patrol? Are you fucking kidding me? That game is trash.
Yeah.
Like even the laser active software is all terrible.
Jeremy in the chat says that Linus once said that he would never make a popular video about LaserDisc, but apparently he needed to hit, so he went into the feeding trough.
I could see that.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just glad that like it didn't become like the Nimoy video where we see it over and over again. It
was posted hard for a couple days.
6 people posting it every day, and then it just kind of died.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh thank God. I'm sure it'll come back around though, like in 2 or 3 months. A couple people will just show up. Hey, did you know that they did this? I'm just now seeing it. And it's like, yes. Have you searched the channel once in your life? Have you ever used the search button in your life? No? Okay, carry on.
And then if you look at this thumbnail for the video, it's Linus holding the laser active or whatever he's got with a disc out in the tray.
Yeah.
It's just like...
it just made everybody cringe, yeah.
It's the most jabroni way to hold something.
Like, it's got 1.6 million views, which is just ridiculous.
Well, that's the thing. That was always the kind of double-edged sword of like big people bringing attention to LaserDisc, but then they're also the defining voice of LaserDisc. So even if they're casually, somebody like a Tecmone or a Cinemassacre or someone says, "Hey, there's a LaserDisc," then they are the defining voice of LaserDisc. Yes.
Just glad it's not his passion.
Yeah, whatever happened to the passionate LaserDisc guru?
Once she realized that none of us were going to pay attention to her fake.
That was like a one and done.
Everything.
Yeah. So that was a deep cut.
Because like everyone bagged on that one right off the bat.
There was a vinyl YouTuber that apparently tripped across a box of LDs and then was like, I have a passion for LaserDiscs. And then made one video about it, came into LDF, spammed every LD group with it, and then never did anything with LaserDisc ever again.
Yep, just trying to get hits.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, you either go way too far in or you don't go in at all.
Yeah.
So
what are you talking about?
See, like Max, right? You found LDs at a record shop, right?
I worked at a record store, and I inherited the entire level of whatever I wanted because the rest of it was going to be sent to a Goodwill. And I basically had to, in the quickest possible way, not keep all of them because I had nowhere to put all of them. But I had like 700 immediately. And then that's how I ended up with as many as I have now. I just kept looking for more.
But you legit had a passion for LaserDiscs. So.
Yes.
Yeah, you weren't full of it.
No.
I mean, there can only be one queen at any given time.
Good
Therefore, unless somebody wants to murder Maxine.
call. Wow, that got dark.
That's so dark.
Listen, I'm just saying. I know how the line of succession works. I've read history.
I mean, there can be different, like, countries with different monarchs.
Is there a room
Without
for
murdering?
more than one?
I mean, they might go to war, but
is there a room for more than one reigning monarch in LaserDisc?
I don't know. Oh, thanks,
Well,
Jeremy. Jeremy said some nice things in the chat. Sorry.
Let's see. What else do I got in the chamber? Really, I browsed LDF. There wasn't anything like crazy. We have reached 15,000 members.
Yep.
So my question for you guys, since all of us have been here, some of us have been here maybe 10 plus years. How has the community changed in the last 5, 10, 15 years?
Jabronis.
I think we
care
have
to elaborate on that.
These power sellers that just spam nonstop now, and I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
And now they're, because of medical bills or whatever their latest scam is, but it's like we don't need to see your same sale posts every 3 days. Like, moderation seems to work way better than the just spamming it to where people block you. Just saying.
Yeah.
And then I think the amount of people spinning and enjoying seems to have dropped off, or maybe it's just that they get buried by the 75 photos of somebody, trying to sell laser discs because of some emergency.
Yeah.
Yes, I have to agree. I think like the I don't know, can we I don't want to enforce rules in the group. Like I feel like that sucks too, but at the same time, one person posting 5 sales with individual photos instead of a bunch, a photo that has 20 discs in it or something like that. You're here's one photo, here's everything that I have on the flat floor instead of a singular photo and then they post 6 consecutive sales and it's it just
then they all get bumped the next day.
Yeah, and then they bump them, yeah. And then it's you can't even enjoy any of the discussions or things. And then it's that's what the whole group's really about. I don't know.
It is interesting to see the actual cast of characters rotate over the years because there's people that go hard for a year or two and then they just kind of disappear. So I always like when Vinny tags people that we haven't seen in a while just to see if I know some people have passed on, rest in peace, but but yeah, this is interesting to see the revolving.
I don't know. Let's see. I've been around since 2015, so I was not around in the early days of the group. But it feels like there are several folks who, and I don't know if this is true back then, they just collect this, but they're not into watching them.
Yeah.
And Ryan, you kind of alluded on this. I mean, it's like they just want a disc just to have the disc. They may not even really like the format. I mean, there are a few people who like to bag on the format and talk about all the things that are bad with it, but yet you go and spend hundreds of dollars on a single disc. I'm trying to reconcile those two things. It doesn't make sense.
That is always a bummer that somebody's like, this is a fun disc, it looks good, and then somebody always goes, well, you should see the 4K, or so there's always disingenuous 4K talk. And we get it. Yeah.
Please,
go to 4K forever.
Leave
us alone. Get off our lawn.
Right?
They just.
I mean, I love a 4K as much as anyone else.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Sean made a great meme. We should bring it up again. It's probably in Brian's other group there. It's just a bird tweeting on a branch I like LaserDisc, it's a neat format, and then this crow's next to him just squawking Blu-ray, Blu-ray, Blu-ray. And the bird's just got this face
Hey Chris, I had another hot topic that came up in one of the posts. It wasn't I don't think it was the primary thrust of the post or the reason for the post, but it was down kind of embedded in the conversation. So someone claims that there are expensive players, or maybe there's one really, really expensive player that not just handles disc rot better than cheaper players, but literally removes disc rot, and so it plays rotted disc clean.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
I argue with him and said that no such player exists. And then he tried push it back in my face to say, well, I spent a whole lot of money on this player, and I promise you it does this. And I'm like, well, what kind of magic and sorcery is within this player? What kind of magical chip is there? But he doubled down and said, no, it's actually a thing. I call it BS, but
I know it's a
mean-
DVL. That much I know. Because he's also been coming out lately saying it's a DVL 700 is one that he buys backups of, and it reduces
well, it's definitely not
rot.
a DVL 700.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, DVL 700
So-
being your golden goose.
I'm thinking like if there is a high end, maybe it's the high end DVL, the whatever the HF9.
Oh, the
whatever.
H9?
Yeah,
The
maybe
9?
that.
The only thing that distinguishes the H9 is that it has the same comb filter as the R7G.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
the same.
right.
It's the same transport system. Everything else is your standard
Yep.
DVLs.
Hmm.
What I remember when I was first coming up through this is there was some guy who had a blog from the early 2000s who basically came out and claimed that because the X9 and the X0 were like state of the art, top of the line, end of development, that they had a laser that could play discs with laser rot better
Yeah.
than earlier solid state laser players. But
So that's different. That's different
Yeah.
than saying I play a rotted disc and all of a sudden the laser rot magically disappears. Like that's not a thing.
Yeah,
Well,
on his 700 post
again-
this week, he was like, "Oh, it replays rotted discs better." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, well, that's different than what he was going on with Marcus about."
yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be one of the great many things that can be solved by a picks or it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's not enough interest in doing scientific analysis of LaserDisc playback in 2023 because it turns out nobody fucking cares.
Yeah, I'm just happy with like some of my better players instead of, I mean, if it's a really bad disc, it's a really bad disc, but instead of
Yeah.
a lot of snow, it's like black dropouts that you don't really notice that much instead of like white sparkles and things like that. So I can deal with that. Yeah, if I just have black dropouts, especially when I watch out my projector, like I don't really notice them that much, but yeah.
I mean, at this point, the way laser rot gets expressed in LaserDisc, I think makes it such a unique risk of collecting LaserDisc. Like, no other format fucks up in such a tangible way that you can, like, see the imperfections. A DVD would just, like, skip.
Didn't HD DVD do that?
And DVD.
Somewhat.
DVD had a
DVD
bad period.
Yeah.
But
VHS
HD DVD would just,
does
like,
get
stop
mold.
working.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's
Oh,
all
wait,
the same
VHS?
thing. DVD and HD DVD were both made by that one plant that just made horrible optical media, so it's all kind of tied
Yes.
together.
It was all really bad in, like, that 4-year span.
Yeah, like Pennsylvania, I think it was. Maybe, yeah.
oh, jeez.
And now, what is there? There's one pressing plant left in the entire
Yeah.
North America.
And then they started
Oof.
making discs in Mexico. Those discs were great, so like, way to go, America.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't think there's any one single player, unless somebody has decided to invest millions into redeveloping the laser of their DVL 700 that can make laser rot better.
Yeah. I
It
pretty
is,
much tried every single DVL model that exists. Like I've had like one of almost every single one. I've had the V888, which I really like that machine. That was one of the better machines in terms of like the actual like playback and the like stability of the side V staying in check.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
all those models have the side V issue. So the fact that this guy is like not having every single DVL 700 want to skip and replay the same scene endlessly on side B, that's a miracle in itself. And then add the double miracle of the fact that it's removing rot. Like that's crazy. That's crazy pants. Like
Yeah.
There you go. Hoard them now. Get out there.
they're a good player, but like at their I don't think they're that
I've got a 90. I guess it's not as good as a 700, even though it's got the ruchy finish. But
No, I like the DVL 90 and the 91. They have a good exterior, and you know there is good internally is the 909, 919
Yeah.
business. They
are
all,
those what, Japanese only models?
these are the American ones.
no, they're
Mhm.
US ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a European 919.
Boom.
Yeah, the 919E. Yeah. And I have a Japanese, my pretty much my daily player though, like weirdly, is a Japanese gold finish 909.
Oh,
Like I use that one like all the time for testing shit.
huh.
I mean, some would say that they're the workhorses of the LaserDisc fleet these days.
They're later machines, but I feel like the 500 series, 600
500s.
series, like those are the bread and butter.
Yep.
Those are what you should be looking for. Like those are really good models, and they have a lot less weird shit going on inside.
Yeah, for real.
There's solid manufacturing in there.
Yeah, and they've got simple side transitions that are much less likely to break due to age.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too with the DVL models is like technically it's like there's like the DVD laser and then there's a LaserDisc laser, and like they're like coming in and out of so much movement happening just in the startup function.
Yeah, it slides back, moves to the side, the other one comes in. Yep.
Yeah, there's so much to break in that, and then there's adjustment and calibrating. Like they are very, very finicky.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ship that necessarily, but
No,
I have done it,
through.
and it made it. I shipped a 90.
It's if the alignment's already good and you ship it, then that's good. But if it's bad, it's probably going to just get there worse. So like,
Yep. I think I sold one to Josh Gibson, and it lasted for years after he got it. So.
All right, then another question: do we know anyone that actually still services LaserDisc as a commercial thing these days?
Commercially, I don't think so.
Like, is there anyone we could point people to say, hey, they still have like the tools to like calibrate and fix a LaserDisc player?
I have these.
Oh, I did not know you had these tools, Maxine. That is my fault.
Service remotes. Yeah. I got the service disc. I come from a long line of engineers in my family, and so this is very up my alley, fixing things. But I literally for a very short period I was taking projects in to fix for people, but it's so time consuming that it's like I think at the root of it all is that if you look at how people say when they go to an estate sale and something costs $100 and they're going to come back when it's half off day, even though that's a really good deal for the model.
Dude, that 704, he should have bought that.
Yeah, he should have got it.
But like, if that's the mindset of the person who is your clientele for repairs, how is your time ever going to be valued?
Yeah.
And that's what I kept coming at the root of it all is like, in order to tell you what my time's going to cost, I invest probably 2 to 3 hours to figure out what your problem even is, then to tell you it's going to cost X. And then they say, what? No, I can buy another player for that because it's going to take a lot of hours to fix certain things. If it's just like a service thing, like, I mean, I can advise people if they want to like have like a one-on-one advised thing and it's a bench fee type of help. But like for the most part, I think almost anybody, unless you realize how much that is a skill, that's a deep skill, that's a dying skill, and you have to value those hours because they're specialized hours, I don't think we're going to have many people that are going to be willing to do it because no one values the time that it takes.
Yeah, you can take them to shops, but the shops often, maybe they got rid of their service discs and remotes years ago, but I mean, they'll try it.
Yeah.
They might not have parts or access to parts.
Exactly. That's the main thing. I mean, for a while there, before Ethan was making parts, I was like contemplating making parts. Yeah. I'm like, I have like a bunch of family members who like reverse engineer shit. So I was like, this is possible. But like when Ethan started 3D printing stuff, I was like, oh great. Like this is exactly what we needed for the longevity. Like we need the grip rings, we need like somebody that's like got like a source on belts, like there are sources of the belts, but it's nice to know that you have the actual correct sorted part manufacturer, correct square belt, everything. Like that's all really necessary. So
and sadly, like the old techs that were specializing in LaserDisc, Curtis Bear like does stuff if you're near him or you're friends with him, he will help you on email.
He is the only one I know.
Yeah. And he's very patient and super helpful. But other than that, like all the other guys burnt out. Like Grasshopper, I think burnt out. The guy Duncan from Pacific Northwest burned out, and everybody ends up stealing people's players. I don't think out of malice, but just out of being burnt out and just not having the time anymore.
Literally, it's exhausting.
And
It would literally have to be your full-time job probably for it to
And
be
it
worth
can't,
it.
and no one's willing to pay you full-time money for how much time it takes.
And so, yeah, so I do know other people that are techs, just basically because they're personally into doing stuff, but they tend to play those cards very like close to their chest. They don't let people know that they know it. It's like, don't let your family know that you can fix computers and stuff like that. So sadly, there's a lot of hidden talent out there, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're going to name them all right now.
We're gonna give you their address, their
Yeah.
phone number,
You're
their
getting
social
doxxed.
security.
For certain things, legitimately, if you're like, I really don't know, then someone can ask me, and if it's a short help thing, I'm always willing to help people and answer questions if someone's like a complete, like, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I just took screws out and like, what is going on in here? Like, I don't mind helping people like in a small, like 30, 45-minute way. But like, if it goes past a certain level or like any of that, like that's the whole problem is it's just a time sink.
Yeah.
And no one values the time.
Yeah.
They will in about 15 years when they're all gone.
Yeah. Troubleshooting is such a pain. Yeah.
I know.
All right. Does anyone else have any other hot topics they feel are of note tonight?
That was it.
It's so long. There's been so many other topics, but it's been
I was
so
going to
long.
say, waiting 2.5 months to do the podcast means most of this stuff drops into mush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to give us the go ahead. Let's do some non-LaserDisc pickups.
Woo!
And I'm going to toss it over to Sam to
All right.
get us started here. Come on, bring the
All right.
heat.
I got a
Wake us
bunch. I got a bunch of CDs, but I'm not going to show them because they're tiny and whatever. But
up.
I did get a CDV, which technically is a Laserdisc, but I'm a big Yellow Magic Orchestra fan. Haruomi Hosono is the one guy from Yellow Magic Orchestra that does not make a lot of Laserdiscs, or really any, except for his YMO stuff. So this is a CDV called Tale of Genji. So it's got one video and 4 CD tracks. Don't worry, the OB is inside there.
Nice. That's super cool.
A couple books. I was out in Pennsylvania. I went to the Monroeville Mall where Dawn of the Dead from 1978 was shot, and I bought a book about Rush, specifically about their period in the 70s by Martin Popoff, and then I realized he wrote a trio. So then when I got back home, I bought Rush in the 80s and Rush in the 90s. And as you can see, I'm almost halfway through Rush in the 90s. So it just got sad. Neil Peart
It just got
family stuff. Yeah. So I got to get back into that. I got a box set that is not vinyl. I went to a shop nearby that's supposedly closing in their doors, and it's a Blu-ray box set, which is weird. A 3D Blu-ray box set that's just mostly a lot of air. But it
Jesus
comes
Christ,
with...
It's not a 3D Blu-ray.
Yeah, and it comes with the little kind of Dane DeHaan mask thing that he's got there, and some lithographs
You
and
keep a
stuff.
bandana in a box?
Yeah, it's got a bandana, so you can put it on your face and look just like him. And yeah,
Great.
little lenticular stuff. And of course the Blu-ray I have on the table over there. But
Oh,
I
that's awesome.
was like, why is this vinyl box so light? Because it's just got a Blu-ray inside. Anyways, got a bunch of records. I'll tear through these quick. Went to a shop in Pittsburgh, bought a promo of Joe Jackson, and sounds fantastic, Body and Soul. Really, really good sounding record. Went to a different shop in Monaca, Pennsylvania, and got a bunch of records, including Spirit, 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. Good stuff.
Cool.
Going with my LD, I got a sealed copy of The Infected.
Ooh, another
Sorry, I cut out the hype.
A lot of love for the tonight.
The,
on the
yeah.
show.
Got a Judas Priest.
sick.
Ooh, that's
That's
one of the
good.
great live records.
Yeah.
That's one of the greats.
It's
That's
Rob.
awesome.
Beautiful.
So
Stuff.
good.
A couple older, new older soundtrack releases. Cool World finally got dropped on vinyl in flesh-colored vinyl, so that's pretty fun.
Ooh,
Nice.
So I grabbed that.
tasty.
Love that soundtrack. And one of my favorite soundtracks as well. First time on vinyl, Heat, in, I think, Cool Blue. I think. Yes, Cool Blue vinyl. Yep.
Wow.
Got that. Speaking of Michael Mann had Tangerine Dream do a lot of stuff, but William Friedkin's Sorcerer soundtrack, Tangerine Dream, been wanting to get that for a long time. And I went to my shop down the street. I got Brian Ferry's Taxi. This was sealed too, but I think from a couple of years ago, yellow vinyl. And they had a new old stock copy of Black Sabbath Born Again, which was originally $3.99. So
Wow.
yes, this is the album with Ian Gillan singing. It's very
That's really crazy.
controversial.
So is it a repress or is it like a original first presser?
Yeah, it's original. It's a cutout though, sadly. So because apparently not enough people were buying this back in 1983. But
You turned it around, saw Ian Gillan, and you're like, what?
yeah, what is he? He's in the wrong band. What?
He's so Ozzy.
Yeah, what's going on here? But I wanted to get this for a while. Marvin Gaye, You're the Man. They put together the kind of like What If album. He had come out with a single after What's Going On, in between that and Let's Get It On, and was working on some material that was going to be, another kind of politically charged album following up the themes of what's going on. And it just kind of didn't happen, and he changed gears and went for like a totally different vibe altogether. But so this is the kind of What If. It's got a lot of cool things on it.
Very cool.
Yeah, love that. Got Devo, Total Devo, the old Enigma press. I've been looking for this for a while, and it just kind of popped into my shop. And it's not a cutout, unbelievably, because nobody bought this back in the day.
Wow, that's a obscure one right there. That's super cool. Wow.
UK press of Madness 7.
Sick.
Yep, love those guys.
I don't even know what Madness 7 is.
Oh, well,
I don't either.
7 is the name of the Madness is the band. They did Our House in the Middle of the Street.
Oh, okay.
A ton of other songs. Really cool, like British ska pop band. Brian Eno, Here Come the Worn Jets. It is.
Oh, so good.
It's a reissue, sorry. But yeah, still, I didn't have it on vinyl. So what am I going to do? Like,
Record's so good, though.
am I not going to listen to Babies on Fire? Yeah. So, also got a UK press of Portishead Dummy, one of my favorite albums of all time. You can find this everywhere, but this is an older 2012, I think. Yeah, nice. It had a nice outer sleeve, but it looked like it was that polyvinyl stuff that would end up outgassing, so I don't let that stuff stay anywhere near my LPs. Hit the Wall at the record store. Got them Crooked Vultures.
Ooh.
Hey.
That smokes.
I
One of
slept
the
on that.
great super groups.
Yeah.
God.
I bought it on CD when it was new and didn't get it on vinyl, and I regretted it, but I did
That
not.
was like the second record I ever bought for my budding collection in 2013.
Sweet.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
Motion City Soundtracks, Commit This to Memory, and them Crooked Vultures.
Sick.
Oh my god.
But
Such
yeah.
a good album.
I pray for a reunion.
Yeah. Josh Homme,
Yeah.
John Paul Jones, Dave Grohl. There you go.
That's a smoke of a record.
Almost done. I also hit a couple more things at the wall. Sealed copy of Megadeth, So Far So Good So What. I was psyched. It was from Record Breaker, which is one of my old favorite haunts as a teenager in Manchester, Connecticut.
Did you open it?
I did, yeah. So, of course I did. Yep. But I
No.
I save all the stickers. So
So great.
yeah.
That's great.
And this is before they remixed it and made it sound stupid. And I've been looking for an original copy of the first Megadeth album, Killing Is My Business, and Business Is Good,
Wow.
from Strawberries Records and Tape, also sealed.
Amazing.
This is the old version with these boots, before they got in trouble and had to like take it off, and they have like one with like censorship. So,
Oh,
but yeah.
wow.
Grab
That's
that.
pretty sick.
And finally, I've been wanting to get a Japanese copy of Japan's Quiet Life because, Obi strip. This is the second issue, so it's got a kind of like monochrome Obi instead of full color. But man, drop the needle on track 1, and you're like, oh, this is Duran Duran.
Yeah, right.
Many
Literally.
years before Duran Duran. Well, it only
Yeah.
sonically sounds like Duran Duran. Oh, I guess somebody ripped this band off hardcore. Really good stuff. So that's it for me.
Okay. Then I'll toss it over to Marcus.
All right. I've got some DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. So I will start with so one of my favorite shows, cartoons as a kid was Doug.
Ah,
Love Dog.
Ooh.
So I picked up Doug seasons 1 through 4. Well, this is all of them, 1 through 4, on DVD.
That's so
Nice.
And these were cool because these were made on demand by Amazon. These are like DVD-Rs.
oh yeah.
In 2008. So you would like order it via Amazon, and they would press your disc, burn your disc, and then send them out to you. Yeah.
Whoa.
So kind of cool.
Wild. Wow.
Let's see. Another favorite show from my teenage years in the 90s. Sitcom. Martin.
Classic.
The
Yeah.
complete series. Oh my gosh.
Classic.
Snap.
So 1 through 5. This one's still sealed. It literally just arrived 15 minutes before the podcast tonight. So I'm looking forward to watching that.
That's so sick.
So classic.
There's a really good Halloween episode. That's very timely too.
What's that? Which episode?
I think there's a really good Halloween episode if I'm remembering right.
Oh gosh, yes, there is. I think
Yeah.
there's like either a rat or a cat that like runs through
there's
the
something-
apartment.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just remembering that.
There's so many classic scenes from Martin. All right, so moving on to some 4Ks. Hustle and Flow
Ooh.
4K. It's got a cool kind of opening here
Ooh, that's
in the
cool.
packaging with the movie poster.
That actually
Mhm.
is super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aquaman. So I'm not a huge fan of this film per se, but this is one of the reference 4K for video out there that the YouTubers say you should have. So I found it for cheap at my local used store.
That's a fun movie.
Yeah. Dark Knight.
Nice.
Wow.
This one was relatively cheap. It had the slipcover,
Sick.
so pick that up.
That's
I
super
actually didn't know they'd done the standalone releases of the Nolan films yet.
Yeah.
Thought you could still only get it in a big old box.
Joker.
That's-
From what I've seen on YouTube, this is so creamy in 4K. Like the way it's shot, just the mood and the tone of this film, really, really special in 4K. So looking forward to checking that out. This one just dropped this week.
Yeah.
Oh,
Barbie.
Ooh.
Bobby.
Yeah. I was kind of upset there's no US steelbook because that's what I really, really wanted, but Best Buy didn't come out with a steelbook.
Yeah.
So, but it's got the slip.
Best Buy circling the drain with physical media.
You?
I know. We should probably talk about that.
I know that's
some,
its
but-
own hot topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And let's see. Then I got a few steelbooks here. Most of these, no, a couple of these were day one purchases. So Into the Spider-Verse
Nice.
steelbook here,
That's
That
cool.
looks really nice.
That's
4K. And I don't really often double dip across formats. Very few films. And I have this one out on LD. It's a great LD, but this steelbook of Flashdance,
Snap.
it's just so nice
That's
that I had to grab it. What a
Whoa.
feeling on the back. I mean,
That is 80s
good
tastic.
gracious. It is. It is.
My
I
collar.
would probably still default to the AC3 release for watching, but I just had to have that.
Yeah.
And then, as I often say when this question comes up, what's your top film that you want, that missed out on LaserDisc, right?
I know what this is going to be.
You know what this is.
is.
So we got The Last Dragon Steelbook.
Sick.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty sick. So definitely don't steal my digital
Oh, yeah.
code here.
It's mine.
But yeah, this came out, I don't know, maybe a month ago or so. So I got it like day 2 or 3. Went to my local Best Buy and picked it up.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Still have
everything
discs.
for me for non LD pickups.
All right, Ryan.
Did I get any non-LD pickups?
Yeah, you did.
Do
I went
You did.
to a Dollar Tree.
give us at least 3.
We'll start with the record.
3,000.
Now, it's
I
been a while.
I know that 3 is a lot for you, Ryan.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with three or four records or something. I got this sweet AC/DC.
Oh,
It's a bootleg.
Australian? Boot.
I got this for free. So I
No.
haven't listened to it yet.
Huh.
Wow.
But I do have an original, but I was like, oh, it's the original. I picked it up. I'm like, this is a different stock on the cover, and then I pull it out and it's a gray
Huh.
vinyl. I'm like, oh, it's a unofficial bootleg. That's cool. So got another copy of this because if I'm given a Warren Zevon record, I'm keeping it.
Hey,
So-
that's your
Sure.
policy.
Really nice copy of Excitable Boy.
I love that record.
I actually had to pay for this one.
Oh,
This is
original or
Black
bootleg?
Sabbath original,
Yeah.
Wow.
and my what?
I heard poop.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Somebody saw Black Sabbath and pooped.
Sorry, I'm dealing with a 5-year-old.
I mean,
Okay.
All good.
Wow.
they might have pickups too. Them some new Paw Patrol
That was
toys.
the last time we ever heard from Ryan.
Yeah, pooped. Yeah, in the chat, Albert just dropped poop. Ryan's
I
final
like
words.
He's playing charades for us, and we're not
Yeah.
following it.
Sorry, I'm arguing with my 5-year-old. That's
Who won?
It's
Yeah.
he probably won.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he won.
It's been so long. Sam had talked about picking this up. I finally got one. This is the new Queens of the Stone Age.
Score.
Hey.
So I have not listened to it yet, but I did pick it up. I picked up the Unwritten Law Here's to the Morning
Ooh, music on
okay.
vinyl.
vinyl. I
Ooh,
pick
what
up
a
a lot of
novel
random music and
concept.
vinyl stuff. So some Puddle of Mud.
Wow.
Sick. That's super cool.
This limited edition Mandy.
Whoa.
Heard of the Mandy soundtrack?
Is it the, what's his name there? Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you get the album of the fake guy, like the fake album of the guy from Mandy? What's his name? The preacher guy.
No. I got the Legion M one, which is now apparently out of print. So I got it before it went out of print. And I picked up another copy of this because I can't help myself and I like buying things from Asian Man Records.
All right.
This is the Smoking Popes, but this one's really cool because it's a sweet pink
Ooh.
variant.
Ooh.
Okay.
They make amazing variants, but
That's beautiful. Yeah.
It's just like one guy out of his garage and always has been. And they've had some really amazing bands come through their catalog, and they keep releasing stuff. A little more modern, Mammoth 2.
Yeah.
This is the signed one from his website, so I got to open that and listen to it.
I
And
love
it's
that one
probably-
video where he plays all the different band members and then until he fires himself or whatever. And,
Oh,
and then the pizza
it's
guy
really
shows
good.
up and
This one is the Translucent Clear. So
Ooh.
nice.
my son's yelling for me, so we'll see how this goes. I have a problem with buying albums I already have, so I got 2 copies of different colors of Rufio, perhaps, I suppose.
All right.
Ooh.
Because I might need those colors at some point.
I mean, yeah.
need those.
And then
Never
there's this band people have heard of,
Yeah.
and they finally came out with a collection with
Is that
their
Sammy?
90s albums.
Oh, wow.
Even I know this one.
Yeah.
Based on
Including,
the letters.
Balance, which is stupid rare and expensive. And
Wow.
I have a sealed Balance that I was afraid to open. I'm not afraid to open this. That's why I was asking if you open your record, Sam, because
I do.
I am a wimp, and when I get something sealed that's really old, I sit on it because I know that every time I look at the price, it'll go up, and
True,
then I never
yeah.
end up playing it. So, and then I got a couple of DVDs and Blu-rays and such, so we'll go through them real quick.
Nice.
Here we go. Until my son's yelling for me, so this will go great. I got Candy Tangerine Man with a bonus Lady Coco feature. This is an out-of-print Vinegar Syndrome.
Wow.
Is that Black
And,
Exploitation?
yes.
Very
And
nice.
it's one I didn't get when I first started collecting, and some UK book site had it with $2 shipping to the US, so
Dude.
I picked it up.
Yeah, you gotta go
Score.
for it. Sorry, guys.
Absolutely. Luke scored me this. It's the Vinegar Syndrome catalog of film for Spring 17. It's got a bunch of trailers.
Sick.
Hey.
Slimed from Troma. Watch this. Don't get this one. It's terrible.
Oh,
It's not good. I got Taffin.
Nice.
This is on LaserDisc, but the LaserDisc is like a known like bad rotter, so there are like no copies out there that aren't just dead.
jeez.
So I picked up that. I got this
Ooh, Vestron.
wonderful film. Yep, Vestron series, really cool. Picked up a 4K of Hard Target.
Sick.
Oh, I've heard good things about
Which
that
cut?
release.
Theatrical or international? Or
I believe it's got potentially both.
cool.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember. But this is the new Kino.
Oh
release.
yeah, I'll grab that.
Yeah. So check it out. Ninja films, I heard they're popular. This is Revenge of the Ninja. I think this is the last one I need, and then I have them all.
That movie
Of the
smokes.
And then Escape from the Bronx. You can't go wrong with Italian action films in English.
Quality.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke sent me some garbage too. I'm pretty sure Luke sent me this. It's
Wow.
some random
Phantom?
Die Hard Dracula.
Wow.
Wow.
Of the opera looking Dracula.
Yeah.
And then Dead Fury.
Okay.
Ooh, weird.
A horror 4-pack.
Oh,
Bruno Mattei, Zombies at the Beginning.
Score.
sick. Sick.
And Bigfoot versus Zombies.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I found these two at Dollar Tree.
Oh boy.
El Septimo Hijo,
Oh yeah.
which is
seventh?
Is it
whatchamacallit?
in Spanish? What is that?
Yeah. Yep.
I've seen that movie.
Sons,
Seventh
you
Son.
know?
Yeah.
And then El Hombre de Acero. And
Hamilton books always had that all the time. I'd be like, I need a Man of Steel, but oh wait.
but I mean, it's got the English audio in it.
Yeah, it's
so
fine.
It's totally worth getting. And then
like
I got 3 months worth of Vinegar Syndrome. Hang on a second.
We should just dub his voice.
Yeah, we'll take the Japanese
Yeah.
language from Monty Python's Holy Grail.
Yeah, right.
Those are the joys of doing these things live. Vinegar Syndrome, Ghost Nursing.
So many questions.
Yeah, I have lots of questions. I have not seen this, but I will need to see that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Evil Judgment. I'm
Ooh.
trying to remember if this one. No, this one's not 4K.
Ooh.
A couple of these are, but I don't remember which ones. Curse
Whoa.
of the Screaming Dead.
Sweet.
That's really crazy.
Really, really cool looking slip.
Whoa.
Strike of the Panther.
Wow.
This is
Wow.
Umbrella Films, so this ought to be pretty cool.
This is just like watching the Indonesian discs. It's like I don't know what these movies are.
Oh my gosh.
They all look interesting, but are
Arnold.
Oh, Arnold
No, I-
Schwarzenegger. Oh no. Different
no.
Arnold.
Yep. This has
is this the one with like,
Roddy
football
McDowell.
then?
What?
What?
Hey Arnold.
Hey,
Yes,
Arnold.
it is.
Tom Arnold.
It is the inspiration for Hey Arnold.
I
The
knew it.
definitive Arnold.
Yep. Eternal Combat. This is one of their VSAs, so video store type ones with the hardcover, and then it'll have like a poster inside.
Sick.
They're always like straight to video amazingness, or they might have had a theatrical, but they're minimal. And then Vinegar Syndrome finally killed their DVD section. They will not be doing any DVDs. So I picked up some of their old stuff that I just didn't grab before, like Flesh and Bullets,
Wow. Great cover.
Drive-In collection with the
Ooh.
Suckers and the Love Garden.
Ooh.
They were all like $5 a piece, so I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Teenage Zombies and Revenge of the Virgins.
Ooh.
Sweet.
Yeah.
They haven't had sex. They're
That is a
coming back.
drive special.
The Executioner Part 2 and Frozen Scream.
Nice.
And then one more slab from Vinegar Syndrome because they've sent me 3 shipments since we've had a podcast, so it's not my fault. Brazilian exploitation trash, Amazon Jail 1 and 2.
Wow.
Wow.
It's about an Amazon jail.
Wow.
Very, yep.
I wasn't sure.
Death in Brunswick with Sam Neill. I actually watched this. It was quite entertaining.
Heard he's
Oh.
he's sick.
Is that not what usually happens with the movies that you receive, Ryan?
Well, I mean, sometimes I don't get a chance to watch them before I do the podcast, because I'll get them and 400 others, and it's like, well, what do I watch first? And then I also got Killer Condom.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
And
Jesus
this is
Christ.
like full out cover.
Look at the art on that. Wait, go back.
And it is 4K.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. The art is hilarious.
So this is a
That
German
condom needs
film.
every pixel it can get. Sorry,
This is a
man.
German film, so it is
I'm sure
subtitled.
it is.
And yeah, I look forward to watching this. I have not seen it yet.
God.
Wow.
And then one final thing, the Cardona collection.
Oh,
This
Joe
is volume
Cardona?
2. So Rene Cardona, I
Oh
believe.
yeah, different Cardona.
Yeah, and so it's got Beaks the movie, Under Siege, not the same one, La Casa que Arde de Noche, and SOS Conspiración Bikini. So, yeah, and if you look, the inner slipcover, there's something going on there. But,
Something.
yeah,
We
so
can't
I look
guarantee
forward to
what.
that. Subtitled movies are always fun to watch, but also hard to watch when you have a 5-year-old or trying to do anything else. You just can't because you have to sit there and read it. You can't listen. So
You probably can't watch
But-
most of those movies with a 5-year-old around anyway.
I
So
was gonna say,
Yeah.
5-year-old.
That's
not within
true,
view.
yeah.
But yeah. Plus, he knows I got a new Super Mario game today, and he's waiting for me to get done. So
Ooh.
That's the hold up.
yeah. So he's
All right.
really waiting on that. All right,
Everyone
who's
starts
next?
talking-
Maxine?
Wait. Your 5-year-old's up at 10:30 at 10:37.
Ready to play
9:30.
games?
9:30. Yeah.
Oh,
you
9:30,
5-year-olds are. They never stop if they think they're getting something.
Yeah. Very true.
Okay.
Yep.
I have to. Well, maybe I don't know if I showed this last time or not, so I'll show it.
Sweet. Oh yeah, I do like the little finger handles there.
Yeah, right.
Oh, nice.
It's a little cap.
Yeah.
But it's with
Oh,
Pioneer.
Pioneer. Yeah.
Is that gold or just brown?
It's like it's almost like a
Bronzish?
black brown. It's
Yeah.
not there. There we go. See, it's
Okay.
like kind of blackish brown, but it's a pale blue cup. That's almost not translating either. But
Yeah, it looks pure white from
Yeah,
our
for
perspective.
sure. I could
yeah.
kind of
Let's
catch
see.
some.
Kind of see if I hold it next to green.
Yeah, a little.
It's kind of- yeah, it's not quite white.
Huh.
But it's I got that, and then I'll show you this other little teeny tiny. I'm not sure if I showed this itty bitty before. It's a little
Nice.
Mm.
gold pin, says LaserDisc. Got a little disc there. Got a little Pioneer.
Yep.
Trying to get that. And hopefully not too much glare. And then this one, a little bit bigger. But I'm extra excited about this one.
Ooh, image.
Oh, image.
Image.
And it says laser video disc on the bottom little rocker there.
Score.
So it's got a good little rainbow effect on it. It's pretty cool. I'll try and get a photo of it later, but it's freaking cool. I'll show that briefly.
Yep.
And then this is the new shirt.
Where'd you get that?
This I actually went to it was a mall store. I think it was like an what was that? Like an FYC, one of the music-y kind of
FYE.
Yeah,
FYE, yeah, that's it. Yeah. But
That's
it was
cool.
there, yeah. It's got the
Japanese.
Japanese.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, that's not bad. Nice
Yeah.
bold colors.
Yeah, and I love Creature. He's my favorite.
I've still never seen Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh.
This is a travesty.
And they let me host.
Next
Oh my
episode, Creature of the Black Lagoon,
Yeah.
hosted by
No
Maxine.
credentials needed.
Well, that's all I have. I don't really have the Blu-ray.
The fancy
That's,
Blu-ray.
that's okay. I'll come in.
The
And
high resolutions.
I'll drop a couple of
My
heaters.
resolution is far below.
I'll drop a
4K.
couple of heaters. I got 2 Blu-rays, both from Japan.
Cool.
If you couldn't see, I have my lovely 3D capable plasma television
Yeah, it's
right
possible.
over here.
Where's the
I
CRT
currently
now?
The CRT is right behind me.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I kind of have to slide them in and out based on what I'm feeling.
Wow.
I really wanted to watch Pacific Rim in 3D the other day, so I
Cancel the
leg lifted the
apocalypse.
CRT down. Yeah, because I got the 3D limited edition Blu-ray of Pacific Rim.
Sweet.
First
Nice.
of all, beautiful movie in 3D. I saw it in IMAX 3D in its first run, and it's Guillermo del Toro did a really good job making sure this looked like it belonged in 3D. I mean, it's a wonderful movie,
Doesn't it have-
but it's got like a full-on like booklet of like pictures
Sweet.
and facts from the production, and it's got the movie in 3D, and the 3D conversion looks lovely. on my active 3D display. Again, this is all I do. I buy like one LaserDisc a month and like 5 3D Blu-rays because I have brain poisoning.
Yes. Is freaking Jax from Sons of Anarchy in that movie?
Yes, Charlie
I
Hunnam.
believe so. Yes, he is
Thank
the
you.
lead.
Yeah.
And he is
I thought so.
phenomenal in this
Yes.
movie
I
as a sympathetic heart of gold meathead kind of ex-military guy who gets pulled back out of retirement.
I saw a very small piece of that movie on cable and was very confused why he was in like a mech, and I'm just like, what is going on?
It's cool.
And I just finish it.
It's
so
a very broad, crowd-pleasing, like mech
okay.
kaiju, loud, nonsensey kind of movie.
If you like
Okay.
Sons of Anarchy, also his stepfather's in it too. So Ron Perlman is in it.
I mean, Charlie Day.
Yep.
Charlie Day plays a scientist.
Yes.
And that's all you really need to know is that Charlie Day is
Okay.
a scientist in this
Wow.
movie. And then I've also got the Japanese 3D plus 4K Blu-ray of Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oof.
I imported this simply because I didn't want to have 2 cases on my shelf. It's a nice release, but it's pretty standard.
Oh, who's this
Oh
guy?
my god! Red alert!
Should we admit?
Shields up!
It's too late. He's coming in.
Anyways,
Yep.
Cameron always puts his movies on 3D on 2 discs. Avatar: The Way of Water is no different. You know, it's a beautiful 3D presentation. Only James Cameron could put a movie on 3D Blu-ray in 2023 and not be tarred and feathered.
Yep.
And it's quite lovely. And that's all I've got.
Nice.
Luke!
Who's this
Yeah.
guy I just joined?
Who's this tough-looking biker dude that just
Oh
joined?
my
Yeah.
god!
You know,
Man,
This
got
man
off the
is not-
motorcycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
beard.
You
Yeah.
get jumped off the boat?
You can't have a beard in the Navy at all. So I'm in this weird spot where I can grow my beard out before I join the reserves. So
Wow.
this is the longest you'll probably ever see it for a while.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a couple weeks.
Pretty sweet.
Nice, I like it.
Not
I
bad.
didn't like it first, but now it's like, yeah, I can do this. Anyway, I've been listening, and I just wanted to jump in because I have a lot of new crap I want to show off.
All right, it's time.
Perfect time.
Yeah.
Miracles happen once in a while, and now Luke is here.
Now we just
Yeah.
need Vinny to show up.
I know, where the heck is
It's too
Vinny?
cool for us.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Nick's shirt, true.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Now, this is a Video Drum out of Atlanta. They made a a house shirt based off the house movie. All right, so first off, I got a disc from my good friend Sam Hatch. You probably don't know him.
Yay.
He sent me the cinema disc. So Maxine sold me a bunch of them, and for some stupid reason, I was like, you know what? I'm going for it. I'm getting all the cinema disc, baby. Let's do it. It's been a slow process, and of course, you always see them when you're flipping through, and you're like, whatever. But they're good movies. They're a lot of international movies. But now, of course, that I say I want them, I don't see them anywhere.
I got a few more, so
Sweet. Well, let's talk.
yeah.
Let's see. The same Marcus and I were talking. We bought from the same guy where he got the little monsters, right?
Yeah.
And so he came out. He was in the other group, and he had some really good discs. He just, he's like, hey, I just found this group. I've got this stuff. I need this money. Come on, let's go. So I got me a good Dawn of the Dead.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice Elite Dawn of the Dead.
Excellent.
And been wanting this one, the Elite Evil Dead.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, both
Ooh,
Pretty good.
that's the good shit.
That one really
Yeah.
blew up in the past few years too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Good job.
gave me a really sweet deal. So 2 of them are gold and 1 of them is not. Is that correct?
Yeah, they kind of threw in the other like late silver disc. They just kind of threw it in as a bonus, basically.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
Okay, that's the only laser disc I got. But I'm not even going to do records
Okay.
because I don't even know. Oh, I did get this one. I'll get this one.
Sometimes you got to go quality over quantity, man.
Yeah.
You got the heaters today.
It's all quality, baby. I got this one.
Ooh.
Hey.
So, like, this album, so Beck put out this album early 2000s, right, called Guero, and then like immediately afterwards he put out Guerolito, which is all remixes, and they're both great. Like they're both so solid. Probably the last good Beck album that I really like. But just re-listening to it, it's like,
I love every song on this album. Holy crap. So I had to pick that up. Where did I even get that? I got that at Reanimated. He just happened to have it. So yeah. So I've kind of stopped buying LaserDisc, and I've been going hard on the Criterion Blu-rays. And I'm going to go through and just show you some that I got. And I'm watching them too. I'm not just buying them to get them. I'm watching these motherfuckers. All right, the first one I got, I don't even know where to start. Let's just start wherever. This is the one I got a few days ago. I want to watch it. Matter of Life and Death. It sounds really cool. Powell and Pressburg. Anybody seen it, Sam?
Not yet, no.
That seems like one that Vinny would have absolutely seen multiple times.
Yep.
So Vinny.
So the concept seems really cool. Like a pilot happens to go out of the cockpit and he lives, and then it's a very kind of the angels come down and say, hey, you were supposed to die, and he's trying to say, hey, this is the reason why I should still live. I read the back and I was like, yeah, this is something I gotta watch. I'm actually want to watch this later after I'm done talking to you bozos. Next one I got is Days of Heaven, Terrence Malick. I watched Thin Red Line in the theater and just had a religious experience, and I'm just I need to watch more of his stuff. So I got that. Band of Outsiders, Godard Never on LaserDisc. So I got that one. Moonrise Kingdom. This all started because at Reanimated, he gets them in and he prices them for $10 to $15. And it's just how can I not buy these things? So
the artwork on that one looks lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. Have you seen this one?
Yeah, I've seen Moonrise Kingdom. I've seen more Andersons than I've not seen at this point.
Okay. I just watched the new ones I guess they've been out for a while, but the Roald Dahl ones. Henry Sugar was pretty good with it had Nev Patel and then Cumberbatch. Yeah, they're both in, and there's 4 different ones, and they all kind of swap out. Ben Kingsley is in it, and they're in one, but maybe not another one, and then they're in another one. So it's kind of fun.
Okay. I haven't watched those because I'm just so disconnected from Netflix these days.
Richard Ayoade is in one too. So Moss from IT.
I don't want to talk about that. I feel weird about it because he plays an Indian, a Indian character. It's really kind of, and he is not Indian. His dad was Nigerian. Let's see. Next one, I got the Eclipse Series 5. Sam Fuller. I watched the first movie in this one, not the first one, the Steel Helmet. I've had this on my laptop and I've wanted to watch it. I wanted to watch it on the ship, and I just never got around to it. But this movie was amazing. It's set in the Korean War, right after the Korean War started. It was the first movie to be set in the Korean War. And the big takeaway, is that he has a little South Korean kid that he finds at the very beginning, and he calls him Short Round. He's because you were a short round of a gun, you're not going to stay the whole time. He says, you're fine. You want to hang around, whatever. This was I love this movie. I'm really digging these Sam Fuller movies. I watched The Naked Kiss the other day, and it was just that shit shook me. It was a movie hasn't shaken me like that has. So I want to watch the other 2 on here. It's pretty good. I got a big ass stack. Cure. Holy crap. This movie is amazing. Japanese. Sam, have you seen this one?
Yeah, that's great.
It's It Follows. It has an It Follows vibe.
Super moody.
They say super moody, but just great.
Yeah.
Like a detective trying to figure out who's the killer, but they find the people who killed it, but it changes every time. Love it. Highly recommend it. Maxine, it's playing at the New Bev next week. Oh my God, so good.
Cool.
All About My Mother. I watched this one too. Holy crap. I didn't know what I was getting into. This is the best soap opera ever. What's your face? Penelope Cruz is in it as a nun who gets pregnant by a transgender. It's what? Yes, this is amazing. Chimes of Midnight, just got that one. Slacker, love this movie, Forever and Ever. Dead Man, I just picked this up. I'm trying to go Jarmusch complete.
Sweet.
Cool.
Bitter Rice, a nice Italian movie. Dino De Laurentiis, one of his first produced movies. Looks cool. Strangers in Paradise. This one is cool because it has a commentary track, and all Jarmusch's movies on here he doesn't want to do commentary track, and he's just like, hey, just send me questions and I'll answer them. So there's like an hour and a half on each one of those of him just talking.
Yep.
But he doesn't like watching his movies.
Yeah.
But this one has a commentary track from ~96 that was supposed to be on the LaserDisc. That's not on the Criterion LaserDisc. So they resurrected it and put it on here. It's pretty cool.
I don't wonder why it got left off.
They don't say. I don't know. Ghost Dog. I don't like this. There's good parts to this movie, but a lot of it, the Italians in it are pretty stereotypical Sopranos bullshit. So I'm not. A lot of people like this movie, but I mean, it's got good parts, but it's not my favorite Jarmusch.
From what I recall, he doesn't wield a sword very much in this movie, right? Am I
No.
misremembering that?
He has a gun. Yeah, so he wields the gun. He wields the gun like a sword. It's kind of silly.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
You never seen it? Yeah, you should see it. I mean,
Yeah, no, I've seen it.
Yeah. No, he practices and he pulls out the sword a little bit, but when he does his assassinations, it's with a gun. Yeah. And like, there's a good scene where he meets RZA. Like RZA does all the beats. It's just a great scene where they meet. Anyway, like I said, good parts, but maybe not my favorite. I got the Tati box set.
Yes, Fitz!
I was like,
my
you know
God.
what? I'm going for it, baby. Let's do it. All right, this is this one is another movie I just loved. This is called The Celebration. It's a Danish movie. It was Dogma #1, where they had all these rules, and they say, hey, well, you can't do, it's all got to be I don't know, a lot of
the
biggest
props
rules,
had
like,
to be there.
props had to be there, music had to be there, sound, you can't edit it after all the sound has to be what you get on the day.
No genre.
And there's no genre. It's got to be like, yeah.
It was like this fight for authenticity in filmmaking that they felt was lacking.
Yeah.
That movie is so good.
Have you seen it? You seen this movie?
God! So I had to watch it as part of. I took film studies courses in college just to kind of fill out some space in it, and we had to watch Fasten, as it's called in the original language.
Yeah.
And Thomas Vinterberg has gone on to make some wonderful movies.
Yeah, he got the Oscar for what's the drinking movie?
Another Round,
which is another good one. This movie, like after I watched it, I told my wife, I was like, you got to watch it. Like you go out in the bro hole and just watch it. You got to
the bro
hole, and then your wife leaves you.
She's just out in the bro hole.
Yeah.
Then she's like, the bro hole is really nice. I kind of hate you for it. That's so. You can go out there anytime you want. That's fine. It's open to everybody.
Yeah,
right,
that was like him and Lars von Trier, and they made a couple of really weird movies.
Mm-hmm. It's so good. And the big thing is, if you ever watch it, there's no murder in these movies either. There's no weapons. There's no murders. Because I'm waiting for somebody to die in that movie, and it's like, oh no, that's not going to happen. And the big one I got the Nashville Blu-ray. This one famously went out of print and shot up. And I was drinking one night, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. And I hit the button, and this came in today. So
I'm going to be honest. I had to watch Nashville as part of my film courses as well, and I didn't connect with it.
Did you watch Shortcuts? I haven't seen Nashville.
No, but
Shortcuts rules.
You sent me a copy of Shortcuts. I can see it from here. I will watch it within the next week and get back to you.
It's great.
It's really good. Yeah. Like I was just watching the trailer for Nashville, and like a lot of the people who were famous, maybe back in '75, I was like, I know Lily Tomlin, I know Jeff Goldblum, and that's about it, Yeah. But the people in Shortcuts are still famous. Like Robert Downey Jr.'s in there, Tom Waits is in there, like Huey Lewis is in there taking a piss. He hangs dong. That's great.
The late Chris Penn.
Dong.
Yeah. Anyway,
we gotta get a dong alert.
Yeah, dong alert. Huey Lewis. And the last one I want to give a shout out to my man Hayden for hooking me up with one of his legitimate things.
Boutique label.
Very boutique. I think he probably made 2 of these. This is so he's really into these movies. Like he's a very good. What's the word for it that I'm looking for? What does he do for a living? Graphic designer. So he loves these very animated movies. I wouldn't call it sexy.
Okay.
Thief and the Cobbler is one I never even heard of, but when looking it up, it seemed it was very interesting. Yeah. And so this is a recobbled cut, And in it, there's some, you can see some, what's the word? First cut stuff in there.
Like
but
dailies, yeah.
Yeah. But it's really good. Like, he does a very good job with these, and he makes menus, and there's extra stuff on here. Highly recommend you guys get some. He made one for, what was the other movie he made? They really likes Rock and Rule was really good, and Transformers movie. He made one for that, where he had both languages on his disc.
So
I'm serious.
Make friends with Hayden.
Be friends with Hayden.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you guys. I'm not talking to anybody else.
Oh yeah.
I just talk to you guys. Anyway, that's about it. Yeah.
All right.
All right, I gotta go. Bye.
Bye, Luke.
And just like that, he was gone from our lives.
I kept waiting for a ceiling fan to like crash down and decapitate him. It's like,
It's like
Maybe
watching.
I don't
nervous.
really want to notice that.
Okay. All right. So we're getting into the end of the show.
Yep.
So I thought we would bring it on home with, we haven't done a show in 2.5 months.
Yep.
And there has been a metric shit ton of movies.
Yep.
We missed the entire summer season of cinema and television. So I want 3 recommendations
all right.
from everybody in order, starting with Sam, and I will go last and keep it short, I promise.
All right. I'll do some just random things. Movie. It's super cheesy, but I had a really good time with. It's the Halloween season. I watched Totally Killer, which is a time travel slasher movie. It's very fun. It's about a young woman who ends up traveling back to 1987 because there had been a slashing incident back then, and now the killer has returned, and he's kind of looks like Max Headroom. Like, he's got this kind of weird bulky face. Looks like Max Headroom if he was Kiefer Sutherland from Lost Boys or something. So he's this crazy killer, and attacks this woman's mom, and so she travels back in time and discovers her mom was part of like a Heather's Mean Girls clique, and so it's really fun with her trying to change the course of time and save these people, and a lot of times it turning sideways, and it's just a lot of fun references. It's neat seeing the 80s viewed in a different lens, as I used to just watch 80s movies all the time, but now it's these characters like thinking of the 80s as just, it's insane. Like, you could just roll up in school and be like, I'm a Canadian exchange student. They're like, all right, cool. Here's your courses for the day. And she's like, don't you want to vet me or anything? And they're like, why? It's super fun. It's a breeze. And it's great seeing all these horrible characters that she's hanging out with, and all the shenanigans that ensue. And time travel fun too. So it's Back to the Future meets Scream.
Okay.
Non-film, I had a really good time, and I'm not really a reality television fan, but I had a really good time with the South Korean game show, The Devil's Plan, on Netflix. It is heavily puzzle-based. I don't really watch any Big Brothers or Survivors or anything like that. And there were people that were kicked off the show, but it's not like a kick someone off at the end of each show just to do it. It's because of the circumstances of the games. And I did recommend it to people. Vinny was pushing back because he watched it and it was too much complicated. That's it. Like, this is a movie for people, or a show for people that are really into puzzles. I think there's like one episode where it's like 10-15 minutes just explaining a game. And if you that's not your bag, don't go into it like expecting to see like a really kind of simple, quick and dirty kind of gaming show. But it's people, they're into living quarters for part of the time, and then there's a gaming thing. It's like Squid Game, but without the actual murder. And because some kind of childish games get involved and things like that. The fun thing is there's a prison, so 2 people do get sent to a prison if they perform poorly, and there's all sorts of fun stuff that happens in the prison. About 6 episodes in, something happened, and I was up until like 2:30 in the morning because I was like, well, I got to see how this turns out. So it was a lot of fun, and I wasn't preparing a third one, but I have been watching every version of Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. It's a manga series that got turned into a live action movie and an anime series at the same time. They both dropped. The live action was fun. It has some pretty cheesy CGI. I know a lot of people were hating on the ending in particular, but it's basically a young idealistic kid gets a job working for a film production company or video, like commercial production, and is just super idealistic, thinks everything's going to be great, and is just crushed to dust and basically becomes a zombie because he's working 24-hour days, sleeping at the facility, and his superior is just treating him like dirt, and time goes on. and a zombie apocalypse happens, and he is thrilled to death because he does not have to go back to work. And now that everyone else is a zombie, he can start living. So he writes up a bucket list, goes on adventures with his old football pal, and meets this woman along the way. And yeah, so the movie only has 17 items on the bucket list. So that's a little weak. The anime has more. So yeah, it really should have been like a full show, like My Name is Earl. Like they could really milk that forever. But it's pretty fun. But the anime is like really stylish, especially for like a zombie thing. Like they really make a lot of crazy use of color. In not just blood and stuff like that. They kind of have like a paintball splatter effect going on, and a lot of the designs really stylish. So I think I'm liking the anime more because obviously more episodes, more time to delve into it. But they're fairly faithful so far. I'm about like 3 or 4 episodes in on the anime, but there you go.
All
Zom
right,
100.
wonderful. All right, Marcus.
All right,
recommendations.
I will be quick. So I have been watching, like probably everyone else, Ahsoka.
Yep.
It is so good. And this is coming. So obviously, I'm a Star Wars fan. We've already talked about that and established that. And this is coming from someone who, you know, I didn't watch I've never really watched the Clone Wars and all those spinoffs and series and stuff. So I don't have all the backstory. But it's very, very well done. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but lots of callbacks and characters show up. Cinematography is great. The worlds that are created, we just get so much more in these series that Disney's doing. So really enjoyed that. I haven't been to many movies at all this summer. But my wife and I, we did have a date night and we saw Past Lives. It didn't do huge at the box office, but it recently got a Blu-ray release a few weeks ago. And generally, it's a story about 2 kids who, you know, were basically best friends, and then they moved away. One moved away from the other, and they reconnected later in life. And it's a really interesting story about like soulmates and what ifs. You know, what my life would have been had I continued to be near this person, that kind of thing. And just general relationships in general. So really, really enjoyed that. And then my third one, I had a third one. What was it? I'm gonna recommend one that I actually haven't seen yet. It's coming out on 4K in a couple weeks. Gran Turismo. Yeah. So I'm a big car guy. And this story, I've seen the trailer, obviously. Trailer looks amazing. I mean, this guy is basically plays his video game, right? And he's like, you know, top of the world, you know, online gaming. And he gets an opportunity to like drive a real car, you know, at 180 plus miles an hour. And he kills it. He absolutely kills it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that here in a few weeks when it comes out.
Same.
When the 4K drops.
We are gonna have to hash it out, Marcus, because I saw Gran Turismo in the theaters.
You didn't like it?
We'll talk about it once you get your
okay. All right.
Just get your hands on it. Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right. Ryan, 3 recommendations.
Well, I don't have to recommend Ahsoka, so thank you, Marcus.
You're welcome.
I knew someone would hit that, so I backed off.
I finished The Orville, which is, you know, kind of a Star Trek spinoff.
And kind of better than a lot of Trek.
It got really good like the last 2 seasons. Like it started kind of funny, but like it was really, really good. And I doubt there's going to be more. I know they've released them all from their contracts. They left the door open for more, but it kind of seems like a farewell. But the last season was really good, and it was kind of all over the place, and you didn't know where it was going to go. So
what season?
Really,
are they up
really
to
cool.
Now?
What?
What season are they up to now?
They did three seasons.
Fuck, they can't kill it after 3.
We'll see. It might be done. I watched Tacoma FD. So if you like the Broken Lizard guys, they had a new season of their fire department comedy. It's quite stupid and really easy to turn your brain off for. So if you're looking for that, I highly recommend it. And then I did watch the Metalocalypse movie.
Oh, yes.
It was pretty awesome. So just lots of ridiculousness and betrayal and metal saving the world like it should be. So
Did you get the
if you're
Blu-ray?
a fan and you haven't checked it out, check it out. I just streamed it. I should probably get the Blu-ray, but
It's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Venture Brothers Blu-ray is like $11 on that site I can't name. Get it.
All right, Maxine.
Well, okay, I'll start with spooky season I've been watching. Still have Paramount Plus for the time being because I had it from when I was watching all the RuPaul episodes, but that season's over. So I started watching some of my childhood favorites, and Are You Afraid of the Dark is on there. So I started like going and revisiting all of those. And those
Nice.
are like creepy. Some of them are really like really creepy. And like I'm really enjoying that show. But yeah, I'm only in like the first, or I think I'm close to the second season or something like that. But and I was watching Erie, Indiana before that.
Good show.
That's a great show. I don't know how I missed that. I totally missed that.
It would just air randomly on like weekends, midday kind of thing. It was not easy to keep up with.
it was like 24 episodes, right? Or
yeah.
whatever.
It was fun though.
I've never even heard of it.
Honestly,
Amazing.
Yeah.
hidden gem.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
very like Twilight Zone and like, but like very like kid centric, but not in a way that like makes you feel like you're as an adult watching it, like you're not like relating to anything. Like it just like it is super well written. I think it's like, who's the director? Someone's like super famous director.
Yeah, I forgot who was behind that. It was like a legit. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm totally blanking on who that was. But geez, there's if you're looking for Erie, Indiana, there is a secondary show that was like a reboot of it because the characters were too old once the syndication actually was ramping up for interest. So that reboot I haven't watched it, but I've heard terrible things about it. So only watch the original.
Oh, yeah, Joe
which-
Dante was the creative
Yes.
kind of consultant. Yeah.
Yes.
Joe Dante. And the lead character is freaking in Hocus Pocus. He's the freaking lead in Hocus Pocus.
Not Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. Omri Katz.
Yes, Omar. Yeah. So, or Omri? Is it
Omri,
Omri?
yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm trying to remember his freaking name. But yeah, that one I was watching before I was watching Are You Afraid of the Dark? And geez, both insane. Love them both. And movies, man, when I haven't really seen anything in the theater since I watched Barbie and I watched Oppenheimer and I watched Theater Camp. I saw a bunch of like mystery movies, and I ended up seeing that one that's like the weird, like it's like a short name that starts with an S, and it's like about like this gold miner guy who's like getting into some weird shit and like a lot of blood, and like I was really confused as to how that ended up being a mystery movie, and a lot of people walked out, but I watched the whole thing.
Wow.
It was
Are you talking like the Regal Mystery Movie Mondays?
yeah.
I was gonna say I never hear anything about those, but they always get good traffic at the theater where
I
I
have
live.
watched almost every one that has happened. I watched that weird gold miner one. That one was really good. Theater Camp was a mystery movie that I saw. I actually I probably wouldn't have picked to watch that, but that was very enjoyable. Totally would have said that's worth seeing. 100%. And then the one that was the most bizarre was Talk to Me. And I saw that way before, like in the mystery movie, way before it actually did like a theatrical or anything. And that that legitimately freaked me out.
See, I actually have seen Talk to Me. My significant other and I went and saw it, and we were on opposite sides of the fence. She did not like it. I thought it was great. Long car ride home where we disagreed on it.
It was, I mean,
It
I
was a
felt
lot of
like
fun.
there was some stuff that was like, I was like, like that kind of like type shit, and I don't like possession, and I'm like not really a fan of certain types of talking, but like the air and the vibe and the whole thing just was like, it was too good not to enjoy the whole thing. Like it was just really well done. But like I do not like possession topics. So when that came on the screen, there was some shit that was happening like in the first 3 minutes, and I watched several women walk out of that theater. Like I was like,
That's the gamble of the mystery movie.
Yeah.
What did you think of Paint? You saw Paint as a mystery movie, I hope.
Oh, that
right?
one I did. No, that one I didn't get to see.
Okay, because it's still there's still some bad blood between me and some coworkers who saw that for the mystery movie.
Oh no.
Did you like Paint?
I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was good or bad. It was just like
I
straight
enjoyed it.
down the middle. I don't have much to say about it, which is almost worse. Okay, I'll do my 3, and then we'll wrap things up. We're gonna try and get it in without under 3.5 hours.
Woo!
Listen, Oppenheimer hit July 20th, and my summer was changed forever. I saw it in every single film format. I love it dearly. I know the movie back and forth. Great movie. I know Barbie was the one that won the box office, but Oppenheimer is the one that won over my heart. Really like them both.
Barbie and Oppenheimer, like, I mean, that's literally apples and like explosive potatoes. Like that's
Explosive potatoes.
but it was the summer of Barbie and Oppenheimer. I work at a local Regal.
Yeah.
And it was the summer of Barbie and Oppenheimer.
I know. I dressed up for it.
Listen. I always knew people in pink coming to see Barbie. Nobody dressed up for Oppenheimer in my area.
What about Taylor Swift? Are you dressing up for that?
Oh, my coworkers sure are.
All right.
I came in wearing the normal prescribed Regal uniform.
That's part of the eras. That was her Regal era.
Yeah.
That was before anyone knew who she was.
Exactly.
That never really happened.
Her demo period.
That's your era.
I'm gonna throw a bone to the Showtime program Billions. Basically, I'm about 5.5 seasons deep. I started that in August.
Okay.
Paul Giamatti plays an angry, obsessed district attorney who's chasing after this guy. I can't remember the name of the actor who plays him. Basically, he runs a multi-billion-dollar investment firm, and he uses a lot of insider information, and he plays with the laws. So it's basically this large-scale game of cat and mouse between these two men to destroy each other. One from the position of the law, who's kind of slipping into a corruption to get the job done, and one who's just sitting in the corruption but is also billions of dollars richer than the other one. So it's this like really interesting game of cat and mouse. It's, I believe, ending with its 7th season. I'm getting there. Very good. And Star Trek came back. We got a killer. Strange New Worlds came out during the break. It was a 10-episode season that ended on a big, huge, meaty ham steak of a cliffhanger. I loved it.
Grandma loved
we had a good time with that over here. And Star Trek Lower Decks is back, and it gets better and more confident and more essential with every season. And on that note, does anyone have any final words before we wrap this? Before we take this starship out?
Go to LDDB and give them some money.
Yeah, donate to your local LDDB.
Yeah.
Don't buy LaserDiscs. Just donate to the database.
Look, if you've invested money in the discs and you need to catalog your discs to know so you don't buy 2 copies of First Contact accidentally,
Yep.
then donate
Listen.
your LDDB.
There's 48,000 plus LaserDiscs out there, and more coming every day that we keep on finding. Somebody's got to keep track of them all.
Yeah, it's fine. There are a number of Wolfpackers that don't have any LDDB usage, so I don't think Luke does it, right?
I don't believe that.
He's
He's going. The cops are on the way. He's going to jail.
Yep. Peter Biancardi notoriously didn't use it either, and would just buy 8 different copies of the same thing all the time.
That man's been in prison longer than I've been alive.
Yep.
That's what you get for not documenting 1,000 plus LaserDiscs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I use it all the time, every day, and
It's
Daily,
an
yes.
imperative tool. It is so necessary for the hobby. Like versions, everything. It's so important. Get a free sign up.
Yep.
Use it. Take advantage of all of this, the forums and all the good things and all of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting and very technical information that exists in the archives of those forums that is nowhere else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Literally.
Yeah, for
there
real.
was a huge treasure trove of like anime subtitles that I acquired through one of the members of that forum, and I've since thrown it onto the Internet Archive so that it's been archived forever somewhere. But like, there's just so much stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if Laserdisc Forever is kind of the everyman's crowd, the LDDB forums is where a lot of the really hardcore, really analytical people have kind of spent the last decade.
Yeah, I don't go in there because they hate me, but I do browse. So,
Yeah.
and I definitely check out. I lurk in there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but good stuff. And yeah, Julian, process my updates.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you donated more money,
I should. Yeah.
Job.
I mean, some of us have, hundreds of updates that have been processed and authored.
Listen,
credits.
if I had a good way to take pictures of the covers,
I heard you have
You
these.
can do it with your phone.
I've got
Do
the
it
app
with your
Ryan
phone
sent
and
me.
drop it.
And I am horrible at it, and I keep
There's
trying.
a really good Android app that lets you just take the corners and get like a nice square photo.
And if you are capable, it will come out square. If you are me, it will look like a weird mutated potato every single time. I keep trying.
It's like, I don't really want to screw it up and have that be the documented record.
Someday I'm going to take a good photo with that app and submit it, but it's the same thing. Like, I don't want my entry to be this weird, like, trapezoidal, stupid-looking LD cover.
I use my door. I set it against there. I take the photo with the phone. I use the little adjustment thing and just square it up, just crop it, and then it just there it goes. And as long as you got good lighting, most people can fix shit.
Right.
That's the way I think about it too.
I'll keep trying. I downloaded that app like a year ago. Ryan told me about it. And
Photo scan?
I use it for some like private, like scanning CDs and stuff, but I am really bad at it.
Oh my God. They added a forum post counter to the LDDB account thing.
Yeah.
Apparently I have posted 378 times. Lord have mercy.
I have never posted on the forums.
I've got one, I think.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And I've actually chatted with Julian via PM, but never on the actual forum.
Yeah, I chat with him. I just chatted with him like a week ago. Yeah. But I don't know. It's the best place.
I think that's a good note to go out on. Donate to your local LDDB, folks.
Yeah.
And keep on spinning.
Woo.
All right.